Then suddenly, you find yourself wondering how solid your home really is. With over 30 years of certified experience, let our team give you the same assurance of a stormy night that you feel on a clear afternoon. Before the downpour, before the leaks, call Foster Roofing, serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley since 1994.
It's a beautiful morning, Scotty, and we have an early game today. That injured list is getting longer by the minute. Not to mention that there's apparently an nasty virus sweeping through the locker room. Yeah, but these players, they're in good hands. All of them need to feel their best this season, Scotty. Yes, they do, Jack, because this team is on track to win it all this year.
Every day, Mercy's team is ready to take care of yours, bringing you the care you need now. Find out all the ways to access Mercy at mercyhealth.net.
Ever get the feeling you're treated like a number instead of a person? Some places can make you feel like a number. Your bank shouldn't be one of them. At Legacy National Bank, we believe in relationships and taking the time to get to know you and your goals. You're never a number at Legacy National Bank. Your legacy starts here.
Your attention please. At this time, we ask that everyone please rise. We do our ask to remain silent as the Bentonville Schools KROTC program will present tonight's colors. Now let us place our hands over our hearts as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance tonight, led by the PYA football players. Thank you. And now we want to honor the freedoms we enjoy, pay respect to our country and those who have kept and are keeping our country safe as the Bentonville Pride Marching Band plays our national anthem. We ask that you please remain standing for the retiring of our colors.
And good evening and welcome to Bentonville, Arkansas, where tonight 14 state championships, well, 13 and hopefully somebody gets a 14th, will meet tonight as Union kicks off the season here at the Bentonville Tigers. I am Rick Corey along with Dave Davis. We also have Richard Johns here with us, and we are at a place, Dave, that we were a couple of years ago that is very historic here. They are 5-time state champions. They were 12-1 last year. Of course, we saw them over in Tulsa, beating Union 28-14. But 12-1, losing in the title game. This is a team that doesn't rebuild. They reload, much like a lot of teams in Oklahoma does. But it is a different team than last year after sending a lot of guys on to Division I. But so is this Union football team. It's always exciting when we start, but I don't know about you. It's the same every year. Move-ins, new different things. I'm not sure what to expect.
Yeah, I'm not either. I mean, you look at, especially on the Bentonville side, we start with them outscoring everybody 38-16 last year. But as you mentioned, they are replacing 18 guys are starting or have been replaced in that roster. All the quarterback, running back, all of their tight ends and wide receivers are gone. And so don't know what to expect. We do know we saw the quarterback, Evan Canode, in the state championship game, who will be playing quarterback tonight, and we'll get to him more. And I think this is where Rick Union has an advantage here. I mean, we're returning 10 starters. We're returning a quarterback who played in 2 playoff games last year and won one of them against Norman. So I like our chances, and I like who we're returning, and even we'll get to them, but the move-ins, everybody has experience.
Yeah, those move-ins are a thing we will get to because, as I said, it's not like it is in college, but there are always going to be new people. And, we got the Tristan Birminghams of the world and some other people that if you watched any of the scrimmage or the Stan Martin Classic, you realize, oh, that guy's going to help, that guy's going to help. Now, the one guy that burst on the scene was Rion Williams. Well, he's not a transfer. Rion's been here. He hasn't played that much running back. But when he takes the ball and just goes 80 off the bat and showed incredible speed, I think people said, all right, this is a different team.
Yeah, and he wouldn't even been touched in flag football. They wouldn't have got his flag. It was unbelievable. And I look at the offensive line, too, something that the coach – both years that Antonio Graham, we've talked with him in his office, and he always starts with the offensive line. He was excited about them last year, and he's over the moon about them. Of course, he tempers his expectations because he has to stay level. We have number 66 this year named Elon Reagan moving in from Owasso, who could be the number 1 move-in on this team, and that's including Tristan, who is awesome. Tristan Birmingham was awesome at Sand Springs. Watch for 66, our left guard. Elon Reagan, I think, is ready to elevate this offensive line to the next level, and we saw it in the Gridiron Classic.
He's listed at 365, and actually, we were told by Antonio, we sat with him on Wednesday for quite a while. Antonio said, I think he's more like 350, and he said, guys, he can do a backflip.
Yes.
Which, if you watch him in the scrimmage, he's got pretty good feet for a guy his size. The other thing about him is he's demanding. He's not that he's a bad teammate, but if you mess up, he points it out. He wants you to play as hard as he does. It's kind of a Tom Brady thing where he's holding people to a standard, which is good. Teams need leaders, and the one leader on this team that's kind of natural is the guy who leads it, Dylan Taylor, and that's not his normal thing. He is a quiet leader, but we got one in this dude who will lead loud.
Yeah, no question. In that offensive line, they also have a new offensive line head coach, and we will get to other positions, folks, I promise, but this offensive line is the key, I think, to everything. It's going to unlock everything for Dylan Taylor, give him time, and give our running backs, headlined by Rion, time. And this offensive line has a new head coach, or a new coach, Oliver Pate, won a state championship with Lauren Montgomery, has been the JUCO circuit, has been at Edison, and now is a guy that these guys respect and really like. I just like everything I'm seeing up front, and that is truly where it starts. Even talking about, and we'll get to him too, but Terrence Evans, big number 93, he's even buying it in the offensive line, and he's a nose tackle. You love what you're seeing from the trenches.
Now, you mentioned, of course, what was lost by Bentonville, but take a look at Union, too. You lose Tate Perry. He had 1,129 yards. You L.J. McGee, he had 658 yards. You're down almost 1,800 yards and 13 touchdowns. You lose a guy in Stone Turner that set a couple of school records, had over 1,000 yards, had 14 touchdowns. That's a lot of production. But when you look at what they've got back there now in Rion Williams and some of the other younger guys who played, and then we saw really good things the other night as well from Jordan Avington. And he's a guy that we'd seen before, but he really kind of exploded at the slot. Now, there are some names, and we can't name them all right now, that, again, we were told on Wednesday, Coach he'd be sitting there and be talking and say, oh, hey, watch this guy.
Yeah.
And then we'd get back into something, hey, watch this guy.
Turned into a film session.
That must have been like 20 minutes of him, hey, watch this guy, watch this guy. So there are a whole lot of folks out there that he expects really good things out of that maybe are names you aren't as familiar with. So offensively, because Dylan Taylor is more settled, at least he looked that way to me in the Stan Martin Classic, what do you expect this offense's MO to be?
I expect this offense's MO to be speed, and it all starts in the offensive line. Let the speedsters go. I think Jordan Avington, turns out he's an awesome route runner. Last year we saw a lot of screens from him because they were trying to introduce him into the offense, and they didn't really need that. Stone Turner was the best route runner. He was the most explosive. He was the man. But now when you're talking about, as you mentioned, replacing Stone, it's going to be speed, and it's guys running great routes. I think Tristan Birmingham are going to be our X receiver. He's going to be the big play guy. All these guys, it's incredible. I mean, you saw once again the Stan Martin Gridiron Classic, spin move, and Birmingham was gone, went 0 to 60, and nobody could catch him. I think our MO is going to be speed, and Dylan Taylor, just don't make any turnovers. That's going to be his big thing.
And besides Rion, because he plays defense too, Grayson Betts will carry the ball some. Now at that receiver, we talked about Abington, Dallas Maxey behind him, who has proven that he can do things. Pat Thompson is somebody else that was one of those, hey guys, watch this guy. But so is Jeremy Foster, the guy behind him. He has a fascinating skill set. He's going to do a lot of things for this football team.
Yeah, and he jumps off the page. I mean, you look at him, it's so funny when we were doing our film sesh with Coach. Here comes Jeremy Foster walking by, and he says, hey, that guy, he put on 30 pounds. He's 6'3". Dad works at the school. And next time we see him, Rick, don't you know he's carrying a table like He-Man? I mean, it was literally like a superhero watching Jeremy Foster go back and forth. And you could see the 30 pounds. Last year, they used him in run packages when they already had Skylar Mormon who could run. I think you're going to see more Wildcat with Jeremy Foster this year because that's his skill set.
It is. Now, we flip it over to defense. You lost a lot of linebackers. Everybody knows that, and that's where the strength of that team was. Now, you look back there, Ian Castellanos is a guy who will play some offense. They've moved him up, so he's going to play in one of those outside linebacker positions. Rion will play out there as well. And even Tristan Birmingham, who we just mentioned, this linebacker core is much smaller than it was last year. Of course, you had one big dude in the middle who's now up north of Tulsa, or pardon me, south of Tulsa, and playing for a different school. But you look at these guys out here, and what we saw last week was activity. They were everywhere. Yes, can you block them if you get your hands on them? But you got to touch them first.
Yeah, well, there's no question. I mean, you're replacing two of your top 3 tacklers on the team, but your second tackler had just a hair under 100 tacklers. Rion Williams is back, and again, he'll be playing running back, and he may not. He'll kind of be doing the Logan Haney thing, going back and forth. But yeah, Rion is going to be huge, and the guy's coming off the edge. We're going to be discussing him more, we think, throughout this season. He has 0 stats last year. It's number 9. He's an edge rusher this year named Jeremiah Jones.
All right, so we need to get something from Coach, huh? Because we've done that already. But Dave had a chance to go down and visit with him pregame to find out a little bit about how he's feeling about this game.
Down here with Coach Antonio Graham. Coach Graham, what did you see in the Gridiron Classic last week against Mustang 8 days ago that you can carry forward to now?
The biggest thing for us, we started fast on both sides of the ball, and I'm hoping that we can carry that over on this game. And we played a lot physical. We made some mistakes, but the effort and the intensity was there, so it was very much appreciated.
Outside of the building, everybody has you bottom half of 6A1. Are you using that as motivation? How are you using the outside assessment of your team?
You know, for us, that's all rat poison. We don't really kind of listen to that. I don't read the paper at all. To be honest with you, the biggest thing is we try to take it 1 week at a time and 1 game at a time, and we just go for there. I mean, the biggest thing for us to have fun, you know, be physical, and come out with a lot of energy and take 1 play at a time and weather the storm when it comes.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much.
All right, that's Dave Davis along with the head coach of the Union Redhawks. You know, Antonio Graham in his 2nd year, he has been a head coach at Owasso, so he's of course coached for many years. But you know, we ask him, are you better off this 2nd year at Union? And he believes he is, for more than any other reason. Just logistics. Everybody knows you and they know your style. All those things. He seems to me more comfortable.
I think so too. He's getting his staff where he wants it to. He's getting his players moved in from positions. We'll talk about Jeremiah Jones, but yeah, it doesn't really fit as a corner. Hey, try edge. Try a little outside linebacker, see how that fits you. Ian Castellanos, 3 years ago, he was a safety, he was a kick returner, and you keep kind of moving him closer to the line of scrimmage. You're going to notice that our elite defensive players are going to be in the quarterback's face and is going to have the first touch on the running back out of the backfield. he's refining. He's refining this roster. He's refining his coaching staff, and I think you're not going to see another 5-7 season. I think it'll be improved from that. And remember, even last year, Rick, you talk about 5-7, but we were in all of those games, but maybe 2. And you're going to keep seeing that this year, I think, is that Union is not going to be counted out.
And even played better. There's no question played better in the year, and I thought even better in the playoffs. Now, the one thing we haven't talked about is special teams. You lose Gavin Litchfield, who was an absolute stud. You just knew what you could count on. He had 17 touchbacks last year. Not quite sure what you're going to get there at the Stan Martin Classic. It was a little mixed, so we're not quite sure what's going to happen there. And that might be a situation. We saw it in the Jinx game last night. A lot of go-for-its on 4th downs, and that's happening more and more around football. By the way, Union is going to receive the football. Bentonville won the toss, and they deferred as they're about to come out of their very impressive indoor facility to our left here. One thing you can say about this area, boys, they got some cash. They don't spend it on press box food, but they got some cash.
It is really, really something, isn't it? This area, just the explosive growth.
Well, you got Uncle Wally in your back pocket, you know.
Sure.
You're gonna have yourself a little.
Uncle Wally and all his kin.
Yeah, exactly.
As well.
All right, so we are almost ready to get underway here. The 2026 season begins, and you know this is an exciting time always, but it is so much more so nowadays, even in high school, when you don't know what you're going to get because of the move-ins, because of what's happening, because of the move-outs. How are they going to fit? You know, once again, are they going to be in part of your chemistry? And we asked Antonio, one of the things we mentioned to him was, so what happens when you've got your, let's say that your MO kind of as a coach and they know you and all that, and you've got everybody going in a line, and then you get 6 move-ins who don't know that and are going to be impact players for you. So how do you integrate that? I think that makes you, it's going to make you a better coach. You better be, because that's going to be a hard thing to do.
A people manager. You're a personnel manager, but something that Antonio Graham loves, that he wants to do, is he has, if you're going to have transfers, if you're going to have move-ins, he's going to make sure that the people starting who are moving in played last year. Wherever they were, we have Wagner, we have Glenpool, Sapulpa, Sand Springs, all kinds from all over. We've had move-ins. You got to play. You got to play at your previous school, and that's going to help the overall experience of the offense. When you have some seniors, this isn't a super senior-heavy team, but you had to play some snaps.
All right, so Rion Williams and Dallas Maxey are the guys back to receive. To your right, going to kick it off is Blake Stroud as we are ready to get underway here. 92 degrees, east-northeast winds at 8 miles an hour. It is football time in Oklahoma. There's the kick, and it's going to bounce a little low. Rion will grab that one around the 10-yard line, and here he comes. Williams of the 15 outside, 20, 25, 30-yard line, still on his feet, finally knocked out of bounds. Around the 34, maybe the 35-yard line. But Rion Williams showing you right there some of that speed. The guy who knocked him out of bounds was Benjamin Ernst, and we will get this thing underway. Officials will put him down at the 36-yard line. 1st and 10, Redhawks.
Rion, a guy started as a wrestler a couple years ago, and he's just slowly and surely fallen in love with football. He has a lot to learn, but this is a guy who's going to be featured on both sides of the ball. Last year, really more of a diamond back running formation, and now he's going to be the feature back.
Now let's see if that offensive line, as Dave talked about, can handle this. Bentonville, 3 down linemen, very deep set linebacker crew. Dillon in the shotgun. He will throw it quickly to the right side. That is caught by Avington. He got around to the outside, but couldn't get much. As a matter of fact, only got around the 32-yard line. So they already marked, they actually marked the kick return at the 30, so that's a gain of about 2. Pat Thompson could not quite make the block out there they needed to make. The tackle out there by Jackson Preston. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Yeah, a screen thrown to the left side of the field. He was the only blocker, and they just were able to catch up to Avington there. Something that they used Avington a lot out of the backfield last year. Was a sweep guy, was kind of a pop pass, and we'll see if he's going to be running more routes this year too.
That is Birmingham lined up here on your left at number 7. 2nd and 8, Taylor. Motion by Birmingham. They'll throw to him to the right side. Now that is a lateral. That is a live ball, I believe. Nope, they're going to say it wasn't. That sure looked like a lateral at first. But they're going to wave that off, and I think Union is really fortunate right there. That one looked to me like it went backwards. Thankfully, they didn't call it that, and it's 3rd and 8.
Sure enough, checking in for Luke Wood is going to be the guy we've been talking about. Jeremy Foster put on 30 pounds, backup quarterback, 3rd stringer last year, has slowly moved his way up the depth chart. You're going to see him at tight end, all kinds of things now, kind of in that slot receiver on the trip side.
Grayson Betts will be the running back now as Dylan Taylor goes into the shotgun. 3 receivers right side for Taylor. 1 blitzer coming, but it'll be picked up easily, and that ball knocked down. Tried to get that one over there to Thompson, but standing right in the way once again was Jackson Preston. He knocks it down, and it'll be 3 and out for the Red Hawks. It's 4th and 8, and they'll have to kick it away.
Yeah, on that one, just need a little more zip on the ball, and we'll get there again. This is the first season where going into it, Dylan Taylor is the clear QB1 on this team, and that's the first possession. You move on from that, but just a little more zip on the ball.
Isaac Mooney will kick this thing away back deep. Judson Brown standing around his 35-yard line. Just underway, no score, Union punting. Good snap. That's a good kick. That is angled way above the head of Brown. He has no chance. It's going to hit and roll down to around the 17-yard line. And a nice job by Union, and a really good job right there by Mooney. He hit that thing a little more like a pass, and I think that surprised Judson Brown. 43 yards on that kick, and it'll be 1st and 10 now, Bentonville.
Something you're going to have to look for Bentonville is their offensive line is enormous, and that's going to be anchored by Lapua. He's their left tackle. But this is the unit that they've returned the most. There was a penalty.
Looks like they're going to bring that down, yeah. I did not see that, Laundry. Was watching the ball go downfield, and it looks like Union will be forced to kick that thing again. And that means that Brown will probably give a little bit more room back there for Mooney, who I think surprised him when he knocked it over his head.
Yeah, you hate to see that on that play. Just Mooney, again, like we mentioned, kind of up and down in the Gridiron Classic. Just big confidence booster. Coach said, Mooney was the man in the offseason and in the preseason, and so we're going to see what he can do here on try number 2.
So Union now will be kicking it away from about the 27-yard line, 26-yard line, 27. There's the snap, a little low, but he got a foot on it. Now this one's going to go short, but again, it's going to give a Union bounce, and it's going to be picked up by Brown, and Brown takes off, makes one miss. He's still on his feet. Brown still running, grabbed at the 50-yard line. Thankfully, Dallas Maxey, one of the last guys with an opportunity, got a foot on him and got him down. 38 yards on the kick, and the return puts it right at midfield for Bentonville. That's a good start for the Tigers.
Yeah, about a 35-yard difference there. The punt would have been down around the 15. Now it's up past the 50. But it's something that you live with. And again, game number 1, Devin Bailey, number 21, almost beat the ball again. He is one of the fastest guys on the team, a move-in this year. Devin Bailey, number 21 from Glenpool.
This is a monstrous offensive line, and it is Evan Canode who will bring out this offensive line and this offense for Bentonville. At their 50-yard line, they said, well, at the 50, they set it up exactly there. Union in their 3 down, but a standing linebacker close to the line of scrimmage. Quick handoff to the left side and straight forward for not an awful lot with Steven Schaefer. He got about 2, but the interior of that defensive line is really solid. You see big Terrence getting up down there. And there, you mentioned Terrence Evans. He's a big cat, but you look down there, you got others like Damari Edison's out there playing a little defense right now. He's your normal left tackle on offense. A lot of these guys are going to have to do double duty.
Rocky Bright, number 11, led the team with 5, or second on the Silas Cozart, the leading sack returner with 5 sacks last year. Best 11 are always going to be playing out there.
And Rocky's one of those guys who can just out-quick you. 2nd down and 8. Once again, handoff to Schaefer, and he's knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. That's a fantastic play by Castellanos. And it's going to be 3rd down and 10 as the 2 defenses rise up early on, which is not terribly surprising, Dave.
And it may be his first varsity sack. Like I said, he's been kind of the striker, the star, and now just coming right off the edge. Terrence Evans had the initial penetration, blew the line up, and all eyes are on him because, all eyes are always on Terrence Evans as that big nose tackle, and Castellanos just comes rushing in.
Spencer Starnes, the offensive lineman, just had no chance. Castellanos ran right by him. 3rd down and 10 from midfield. No score. First possession for Bentonville. Back to pass. Here comes the pressure. Bright's bringing it. He'll run it upfield. Canode taken down by Edison. He got about 3, maybe 4. Helping him back there was Devon Hankins, and that's going to bring up a 4th down and 7. And again, we have a lot of folks going for it, but we won't see that. Now watch the pressure. You see Bright at the top of the screen, then a quick miss underneath, but Edison was there quickly.
You like to see Edison, your defensive end, and your left tackle with the chase down on a running quarterback. That's athleticism, folks.
Porter Furtick will kick this thing away. Tristan Birmingham back. That one looks like it might be returnable, but it's going to be kicked away from Tristan, and it's going to bounce, and boy, did it take a great Bentonville bounce. This thing's going to go down around the 2-yard line. That's exactly where they'll mark it, so that becomes a spectacular punt. And Union will start at their own 2. That's good for 45 yards. No score with 8:33 to go here in this first period. And Union backed way up.
Yeah, and it looks like these teams are going to be able to flip the field on each other all night, as we've seen high school football and even in college in some respects go away from traditional punters on some teams, and you just have athletes back there. We did that with Stone Turner, and he was able to run. Owaso's famous for doing that. Noah Hill was the punter and the runner and doing everything. Union in this team at Bentonville have the traditional punter that can really boom it and flip the field and change games. We've seen it especially 2 years ago when we had Miles Davis, and now it looks like we've got some punters on this field.
1st and 10 Union. They move the ball out to about the 19-yard line. Penalty there against Bentonville, and that is up the middle, and nobody else but Rion Williams just pushing forward. The ball came out, but I'm not sure if he was down or not. Let's see what they say. I think they're going to say he was down.
Side judge says down.
That takes it all the way up. They actually had marked the ball at the 14, pardon me. They took it to the 21, so that's going to be a gain of 7. And Rion, I'm sure, will discuss that as he leaves the field. Mason Betts will jog on.
Rion Williams, nice cut back there, and he'll learn as he goes on to continue to follow the blocks of this great offensive line, but a really nice cut back, and yeah, it looked like he was down, and that is the correct call on there.
2nd down, about 3 for the Redhawks. No score here. 7:48 to go in this first period. And there's a illegal procedure motion penalty there against Union. These are the kind of things that early in a season can bite you, but in a situation like this where you're backed up like this, it becomes even more important. You have a 2nd and 3, which becomes a 2nd and 8, and you still have plenty of opportunity to overcome it. But boy, these are the things that as a coach, you know, effort penalties are one thing. These things just make you pull out what hair you have left.
Well, absolutely, and especially, and again, we don't know because they don't say the numbers in high school who it was, but an offensive line of this experience, how many snaps that these guys have seen in juniors and seniors, you don't want that to happen too much.
Once again, Betts directly behind Dylan Taylor. They'll hand to Betts, and he's going to be swallowed up on that right side. Didn't get very much. In there very quickly for Bentonville was Paul Chandler, but he had lots of help. That's a gain of maybe 2. I think they were looking at about 3rd down and 5, so a makeable 3rd down here for the Redhawks. Coming in for Union is Luke Wood, and we're going to have a timeout.
Hoping to goodness here that Jordan Johnson
player down. We had missed it.
Just cramps. That's what we're hoping, but he's been down, and he did not come up after that. He was face down first, started to kind of grab at a leg and grab at a knee, but we'll see what happens here with Jordan Johnson.
Yeah, that is Jordan, and Dan Newman is looking at his right knee, and that's not a good sign early on, and he was in pretty severe pain as he rolled around there a little bit. He was in the pile, and we did not see him initially, and then I saw the official go ahead and call for an official timeout, and that's when you know it's time to look around. May actually be looking at an ankle. I really can't tell. No, they're looking at a knee. And you can see there on the screen Andy and our crew, Eli and Uli. We have an all-student crew over there running the cameras. Nice job. Thank you for being here because, as we all know, nowadays with the build-up around Bentonville, this is not the easiest drive.
No. Traffic, the bypass isn't quite open yet. And I think it might be the largest student turnout we've had for an opener in terms of the student staff, having 2 students traveling with us. That's great.
It's nice.
And I love to see how Andy is building this program and building the Union Sports Network where students want to do this and want to be out here and get this real life experience.
And that's the thing, is wanting to do it. All right, they've got him up now. And it looks like Jordan putting a little bit of weight on that. Yeah, he's limping off on his own without help, and actually that's a good sign. Walking a little better as he goes. You know, and many times, Dave, we've said this on the air 1,000 times, if you haven't been twinged like that before, the first time it hurts, but then it's just scary.
Yeah.
And you're not quite sure. It happens a lot of times with stingers where people aren't sure what's happening, and so that is a difficult place to be. There's no doubt about that.
Looks like they're filling with Victor Vasquez in there, one of the backups really close behind the depth chart. He was like the 6th man even last year and has kind of maintained that position. So Victor Vasquez coming in there at right tackle for him.
Taylor to the right side. That ball is knocked down. Trying to get that out there quickly to Avington, but that was easily knocked down by Davis Kolka. And it will be 4th down. The Redhawks will have to kick it away. So 2 possessions, 2 3-and-outs for the Redhawks. Once again, going back is Judson Brown, who had a nice return last time out. Going back to kick again, Isaac Mooney.
This is where you need that punter. This is where you need the true punter who's had that experience to try to flip this field, to try to give us some breathing space on defense. On that one, you know, it looks like Bentonville defensively just kind of sitting on the short routes and the underneath routes and going to try to make Dillon throw deep tonight.
I would not be surprised to see them come after this. And here they come. Good possession, though, and that ball's going to go a little short. It's a wobbly kick. It'll land short of the 45 and takes a Union bounce, thankfully, across midfield. And it's going to end up down around the 46-yard line of Bentonville, so not the world's best punt, but he got a really good roll at the end, very fortunate, and that will at least put Bentonville in their own territory. 6:41 to go here in this first period. Still no score. Second possession coming up for the Tigers. You know, one of the things we were told by, or at least I was told on Tuesday when I was talking to Coach for the podcast, was Dillon has a couple of throws he'd like to have back, and you know, I think a couple of these tonight already where he's been maybe a little short, but I think a lot of that has to do with what you talked about earlier is, hey, it's your first time just being handed the reins, and there's a little nerves you got to work through.
Yeah, no question. I mean, he is the QB1. It is unquestioned, and there is Jeremy Foster is the second on the depth chart, but he's really more of a runner, so it is Dillon's offense.
Schaefer in motion, and down he goes. Clouston really had no chance. He was swarmed back there. Rocky Bright was back there. Trevon Hankins was back there. Take a look here at the replay. This looks like a team picture.
Oh,
they just went all over. Terrence was there early on, and Terrence just picked up his man and drove him backwards. That's a 10-yard loss, and it's 2nd and 20.
Terrence Evans, our nose tackle, who's also a backup offensive tackle, by the way, and depending on what happens with Jordan Johnson, could see him on the other side of the ball, but you'd really hate to lose him and rotate him out of that position, but he has broken through that offensive line several times, at least 3 already tonight. He's getting through.
Cano hand off to Schaefer, and he is trapped behind the line of scrimmage. Did break a couple of tackles, though, and actually got forward for about 2. Probably shouldn't have gotten that much, but he's a pretty good runner. You have Tristan Birmingham up there helping to make the tackle, and he wasn't the only one. He had help up there as well from Dason Jordan, and it will be 3rd down, and about 17 to go now.
Terrence Evans, again, bouncing it outside, helping in that tackle as well. Only 23 tackles last year. He had 1 sack. That wasn't really his job as a nose tackle, but this year looks like he's going to have a lot more than 23 tackles if tonight is any indication. He is all over the field. Marked improvement from last year.
Yeah, I think Canode probably understands what's coming right here on this 3rd down play. Canode back, and here comes pressure. There's going to be a blitz, and he's going to go down again. Trayvon Hankins is the guy. They said he stayed up. Sure looked like he went down initially, but Canode was able to apparently save himself. Still, though, taken down back at the 37-yard line. Let's take a look at the replay here because Canode got slung around by Hankins. I mean, Hankins was back there almost as fast as the ball. Nope, he didn't go down, but he did drop the ball and picked it up.
Yeah, that's something that I think Tavon will learn. He has had some experience, but Tavon will learn to stick it with it until the whistle.
That kick will go to Birmingham, and he kind of dangerously took it, but he held on, and although he took it at the 31, he gets tackled back at around the 30-yard line, and it'll be Union's football. So 2 3-and-outs for these 2 football teams, and now Union will have their 3rd possession. And I think you could probably hear Andy in the background saying his elbows were down.
Yep.
It was kind of hard for me to tell in the first replay, but the officials didn't agree with it, so it didn't matter. Canode got away with it, but it's Union's football with 4:47 to go in this first period, no score.
We'll see Rion Williams again, and Grayson Betts is in now, but Rion playing both sides of the ball. I think moving forward as tonight goes on, we're getting Grayson Betts some reps, but as Rion gets used to playing both sides of the ball, he could really end up being the key to this game. Went untouched 50, 60 yards to the house in the scrimmage against an awesome Mustang team, so we have a run game, and we're waiting to see the full-fledged of it.
They'll hand off this time to Betts, and Betts breaks outside, still on his feet, down to around the 42-yard line. So that's a nice run by Betts. He was tackled out there by Evan Mall, but that's going to get him about 7 or 8 yards. Watch Betts just stay with his blockers. Really good block out front right there. Holy cow. Elon Reagan just blocked half the defensive line right there and took him with him. 2nd down and 2. First down of the game is yet to be had. Could happen right here for the Redhawks.
That right there is why I think Elon Reagan be the #1 move-in on this team potentially this year.
They'll hand to Betts again, and he does not quite get that first down, but he's really close. Turned his back and just kept pushing. The first guy there to get contact was Garrett Wolf. He was helped out at the end by Shepard Styron, and he got down to about within 2. I think he's got about 2 feet to go for that first down.
It's going to be a heavy package coming in. Jeremy Foster is the running back / quarterback. Rion Williams coming in at running back. This is going to be a heavy package that they're going to like to use a lot this year. You've got potentially Terrence Evans in some of these packages. They do have a split out, but this is going to be something, the short yardage situations.
Had to call a timeout there. There was some confusion. You can see the coaching staff trying to get players on and off the field. Really what you're going to end up here is with a Wildcat situation with Foster.
Right.
But there was some confusion about wideouts, and they did the right thing. Look, it's early in this game. You don't want to make a critical mistake when you can finally move the football and get a first down. So it's a good timeout here by the Union coaching staff. It's Union football here on the Union Sports Network. Rick Corey with Dave Davis. We've got Richard Johns here. Now, you're used to hearing Jeff Johns on the sideline, so let's tell everybody that Jeff is not with us this year. He has moved on to do play-by-play for my alma mater, Nathan Hale.
Hey.
So proud of Jeff for getting that job and for deserting us. Now, going on to that next job. So we have a Johns boy here with us, not the Johns boys, but we're very, very pleased for Jeff to have that opportunity. We will have sideline reporters starting next week. We'll introduce them to you next week.
You know, what you're looking at for Union here on this 3rd and 1, so much time, but this is the best field position you've had all game. Absolutely have to take advantage of it. And like we were talking about, this is going to be Terrence Evans. He was not in the initial package. Again, may have been some miscommunication, but Terrence Evans comes back out, and you're just trying to get that 1 yard against this big, big defensive line and a defense that has had breakthroughs from linebackers too. Looks like, Rick, as you mentioned, it looks like they just kind of reloaded after last year's state championship team on defense.
And Ellen Reagan is now playing basically tight end. Now he switches. These guys, you got about 900,000 pounds of meat up there front. Foster breaks to the outside, still on his feet. Foster, 40-yard line, pushed out of bounds inside the 40, showing you right there that Foster is not just a big guy. Jeremy Foster can run. Take a look at the replay. When he hits the corner, watch the explosion. 11 yards and finally pushed out of bounds over there by Mason Burnett, but that'll be a first down. They said he was to the 38-yard line. Not only the first down, Union is now in Bentonville territory, and you feel a little bit of momentum.
You love to see that from your backup running back. Hey, we're not going to need you to throw a lot of balls this year if Dylan stays healthy. We're just going to need you to get us first downs and do the Tim Tebow impression in Tim Tebow's first year, what he did at Florida, and that's going to be Jeremy Foster.
Rion gets the handoff, cuts back inside. That's a really good 4-yard play. Rion Williams looked like he was going to be stopped really early on. Give credit to Garrett Wolf. He came inside out to make that tackle. But that's as good a 4-yard run early in the season as you'll see. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Yeah, and I like to see our tight end out there. We haven't mentioned him yet, but Luke Wood, a program guy. His brother graduated a couple of years ago, getting in on the blocks. May have him catch passes, may not, but we do know that he's going to be one of the keys to getting this running game going for sure. He's
a program family. I mean,
yeah.
They had really good players in that family, so I don't mean it from that standpoint, but they're just good Union people. Hand off to Avington on the fly sweep, and he's going to get swallowed. You want to give the initial credit on that tackle to Davis Kolka. He's the one who made the play to push him outside. Mason Burnett finishes him. That's a loss of 7, and it'll be 3rd down and 11 now at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, we're testing. We're testing the defensive backs' lateral quickness. We're testing how quick they can close out. We know that this is a newer group. They had a couple guys go off to college from that state championship final team last year in Bentonville, and we're testing them, seeing what they've got. A lot of guys on this Bentonville side are starting for the first time.
You know, this may be 4-down territory down there if anything good happens. 2:09 to go and counting here in this first period. No score. Redhawks with their deepest possession, but they have a 3rd and 11. Taylor? Birmingham in motion. And whistle blows.
Play clock.
That was either a play clock or a Union might have called timeout right at the end. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think Union called timeout. You could hear the coaches to our left And I can't tell you everything they were saying, but you could you could hear the excitement in them saying play clock, play clock. Well, actually, it looks like they didn't get the timeout called in time, and they did give them the 5-yard penalty. So it'll go back to the 44-yard line, and now it'll be 3rd down and 16.
Yeah, it looked like the side judge looked like he was signaling the timeout, but he was just signaling the stoppage because of the penalty.
These tricksters in Arkansas.
Bummer.
All right. Ball needs to go to the 28-yard line for a 1st down for the Red Hawks. Taylor. Once again, Birmingham in motion. They'll fake to him. They're going to throw back to the middle screen, and that's a nice play, but it goes nowhere. Jeremy Foster
Another flag.
was tackled immediately. There is a flag on the opposite side at the 40-yard line. Cole Martin, one of the guys in there on that tackle. Let's see what that penalty flag is. It's being yelled across to our official. Let's see what he says. No flag. They'll pick that up, and it will be 4th down for Union. Ball to 43-yard line of Bentonville. So it's going to be 4th and 15, and you know, in this case, I can certainly see trying to punt that ball out of bounds inside the 10 and give yourself great field position. And that's what Union will do. Isaac Mooney will come in. Back to return. Once again, it'll be Judson Brown. He's a single returner, so Mooney does have the opportunity to angle away from him. And Brown is on the near hash mark. So just a far hash mark punt, which is I'm sure what Mooney will try to do. Hopefully will trap them. Good snap, and Mooney is indeed aiming that way. The ball heads that way, but it might bounce into the end zone. It did not.
Oh, boy.
It stops at the 1. Beautiful job by Mooney, and a great job, too, down there by Clayton to make sure to get down there and stop that thing before it went into the end zone. So that's going to be a 42-yard punt, and Union will now put Bentonville exactly where Union was last time they took the ball, except 1 yard deeper. Tigers at their own 1.
That's how you build confidence. You keep giving Mooney reps. Obviously, we could have gone for it at 4th and 15. I understand that. We're into their territory, best field position. But giving Mooney those reps, giving Mooney the confidence early in the season to say, hey, in week 9, week 10, we're going to need you to do that for the district against the Owasos and the Broken Arrows of the world next week. We're going to need you to do that. Confidence builder for our punter.
Canode under center. This time at the 1. He'll turn and hand directly off. That goes to Nathan Clouston, and he is backed up. He's tackled right at the 1. Union dragged him down in the end zone, but they're certainly not going to give him that. They'll mark him out to about maybe the 1 and 1 foot line, and it'll be 2nd down right there. And I do like what they're doing right there. Canode is not in the shotgun anymore. You don't want that one bad snap right here that could be a problem. So it'll be 2nd and 9. They actually gave him about a yard, and they'll bring in a heavy package. Coming in is Ethan Hoffman, big defensive lineman.
Lapua, number 56 on their side, just an absolute monster. This is a big team. And Bentonville just barely getting out, number 14 getting out of the sidelines.
So they're going to have basically an I formation. They'll turn and hand off, or probably toss, and not much right there on the toss play. Maybe a yard or 2. And once again, that went to Clouston, and it will be 3rd down, but that will be the end of the quarter. Before we do, let's watch the replay. The live formation, quick toss. Good job by Castellanos to get to the outside and turn that in. And then Dallas Maxey did not mind putting the helmet down and getting in there. All right, so that's the end of 1 period. When we come back, Bentonville will have a 3rd down as we get to the 2nd period. No score here between Bentonville and Union on the Union Sports Network. Welcome back to Bentonville, where tonight Union and Bentonville kick off the 6A1 season, at least for Tulsa, or pardon me, for Oklahoma. It, of course, is 7A over here in Arkansas. Rick Corey along with Dave Davis and Richard Johns. I might say it's a defensive first period. 4 yards for Bentonville, 32 for Union, and 1 first down total. And now it's going to be 3rd down and 8. Bentonville in the end zone and throwing it out of the end zone. That ball is caught at the 20-yard line. It looked like it might have been dropped initially, but it was caught by Schaefer, and that's going to be an 18-yard gain and the first down of the game for Bentonville. They move the football and the chains.
Dallas Maxey on it to make sure it was no more as it was going out of bounds anyway, but Dallas Maxey, another guy, looked really small last year and definitely has put on at least 20 pounds coming into this year.
So that's a confidence builder for Canode, who was running to his left to get that ball out there. It'll be 1st and 10. Now Bentonville just short, actually, of their 20-yard line. Canode waiting. There's the snap, and he'll hand off, and that once again is Clouston. And he'll go about 2 yards, maybe 2.5 to 3. As we're seeing the game settle a little bit, and that happens at this time of a game, especially early on, offensive lines start to kind of gel a little bit, and you're saying, well, they've been practicing together all fall and spring. How do they not gel? Well, it's different when you're in a game setting, and, you know, one of the things that's different is you've got all that adrenaline. And so you've got a little bit more kind of pumping through your veins. You've got to settle a little bit. And I think we're seeing it out of both offenses, especially those guys up front.
Yeah, I totally agree. And this is a team that I think has been pretty level so far, especially for it being the first game. I don't see him getting too high.
Clouston gets the handoff once again, and a good job by Rion Williams to stick his shoulder in there. He's still got about 4, though, and it'll be 3rd down and 2. Yeah, a little short 2 right here for Bentonville. They'll be at their own 27-yard line, needing the 29 for the first down.
Rion playing a lot of snaps early on, but as Coach mentioned, kind of fine-tuning that management. So you're seeing, for example, in this package, Terrence Evans has been off for about 2 plays, given 93 a blow, cycling it around.
4 down now for, well, 3 down, and then again, a creeper there for Union, if you will. Look at the offensive line splits for Bentonville. They have spread them way out, hoping to grab some gaps. Quick throw. They'll get it to the left side. That's connected at the 30-yard line and out of bounds around the 34. That'll be a first down once again. This time it was Evan Mall. Knocking him down, going out of bounds was Devin Bailey, but it will move the chains to the 34-yard line. First down, Tigers.
Evan Mole, a returner from last year, had limited action on the offensive side because they had 2 wide receivers at Bentonville who are now at the University of Arkansas. So replacing an entire wide receiver core, that's how you do it. And in Bentonville, Evan Canode, who did start play in the state championship game last year at quarterback from an injury to the starter, is building confidence.
Canode will hand off up the middle. There's a big hole up there, and goes around to the 44-yard line, maybe the 45-yard line. And that is Schaefer, no, pardon me, that is Clouston again. And he's going to gain about 15. It'll be 1st and 10 now at the 45-yard line as Bentonville starting to tear off some chunks.
Schaefer was going left on that one and just saw that hole. Nope, I'm going back in, counters it right back in, and wide open for the first down.
That big offensive line up front starting to do a really good job up there. Motion to the inside. They will hand that motion on a little bit of a sweep play, and that will get up to around the 49-yard line. As Brady Jorgensen, who took that handoff, he'll get about 4. Nice reaction by Union to make that play.
Outside contain from Deshaun Jordan, who you're going to do a little safety, do a little cornerback combo, move in from Wagner. Deshaun Jordan, just an absolute superstar for the Wagner Bulldogs last year in Class 4A, and now starting here for the Redhawks and stopping that play.
2nd down around, well, we're going to call it 7, actually. Flag down on the near side. We'll see what it was. Pass completed to the right side to Clouston. Canode now is kind of right on mark, but that flag comes down where I think we're going to see a procedure penalty. And that's exactly what we'll see, and that will back them up, and I'm sure that will cause Jody Grant to pull out some of his hair.
In over 11 seasons and having been in 4 straight state championship games, 107 victories, Jody Grant has seen a lot, and he knows what it's like replacing an offense in an offensive line, having been 11 through seasons of high school football. And this is going to be a year of new beginnings for Bentonville. After being stopped totally by Union's offense, they're starting to get that rhythm. Canode looking more comfortable out there.
No score, though. 9:10 to go in this first half. Bentonville 1st and 12 now at their own 43-yard line. Motion by Clouston. They're going to throw a screen back the other way, and that is blown up initially by Union, but a nice job of getting away from it for Ricky Brown, but he is knocked out of bounds. Yeah, Castellanos over there is one of the guys. Also over there was Noah Hamilton, and that will be a gain of maybe 2. We'll call it 3rd down and 10. Here's the replay. You watch it early on get blown up and cause the play to go backwards for a second, and that is what really helped everybody else get there and make that play.
There's Rocky Bright coming in, number 11. Almost got a hand on it, just mistimed the jump a little bit. It was out too fast, and Canode has had to throw off his back foot now several times tonight already. We are getting that penetration.
Let's see if this is a Jeremiah Jones kind of play right here. Let's see if he's not actually in the game. Rocky Bright might be able to do it. 3rd and 10. Rocky on the switch to the inside. He has to jump to make the throw, and it is nowhere. Aiden McCarthy could not get it. That one was a worm burner, and you can thank all those guys up front because Bright, on a little bit of a stunt to the inside, got up in his face, and Canode throws it in the ground. It'll be 4th and 10.
Cameron McCoy, first time we've called his name, number 40. Not even on the depth chart here, but my gosh, he came around and he was held. I mean, his head came all the way back, or else he would have had a free shot at Canode. McCoy coming in hot on that one.
Ferdy gone to kick this ball away. Birmingham back to receive the kick around the 25-yard line. This is a pretty good kick. Birmingham is going to let it bounce, and now they need to get away from it. Union's a little bit too close, but it's downed immediately by Bentonville, and that's going to put Union more at the 17, 18-yard line. So, but for these two teams, 17 and 18 sounds like pretty good field position since they've had some starting positions down around their own too. Yeah. So there's still no score. We still have ourselves mostly a defensive game, and Union will have another opportunity.
Yeah, I think you're going to see as the offense comes out here, just getting Dylan Taylor more comfortable. Hey, this is a good defense. This is a great team. They've been to 4 straight championships. This is a good program. But you know what? So are you. You have stayed here all this time and are now the starting quarterback. But this is the backup, Rick.
Yeah, Foster's going to be in there. Let's see if they want to run a little bit of the old Wildcat. Along with Foster, it's Grayson Betts. 1st and 10, Red Hawks. They're going to mark it around their own 18-yard line. Foster's just going to run it. He'll turn back to the inside, and Jeremy puts the shoulder down, goes across the 20, around the 22-yard line. Zawalski was one of the guys there. Garrett Wolf as well. They'll give him maybe 3, and we'll call it 2nd and 7, and here comes Dylan Taylor.
Having a running quarterback last year as well in Skylar Moorman was really nice and can take the pressure off of Dylan. But what I like about Foster is his size. I mean, he is just massive out there, and he's going to be hard to bring down this year.
Betts once again at the running back. Breon playing a lot of defense, so they're going to do the best they can to keep him as rested as they can. Hand off to Betts on the right side, and he tries to bounce it outside and cannot. No way to get outside of that one. Cole Montoya blew that one up really quickly. Union had pulled their offensive line, but there was nothing Bryson Duff could do. He was already beaten because Walski was already to the outside. That's a loss of 2, and it'll be 3rd and 9.
Grayson Betts, the advantage there with a 5'8", 5'7" running back is they can kind of get lost in the backfield. So although he hasn't broken the big one yet, it can be hard to see those smaller guys back there, and that could be an advantage as this game goes on, as Betts maybe can bust one here.
4 wide receivers. Got Abington and Thompson to the left, Birmingham and Foster to the right. Back is Taylor. Plenty of time. Now he's going to have to throw middle of the field, and he threw it right to number 15. That is an interception as Silas Brock brought it down. I think he was trying to go to Thompson. Birmingham was somewhat in the area as well. But it looked to me like Dylan looked back kind of quickly at the last minute and thought, oh, I've got a guy, and made that throw, and it ended up sailing, and there were about 5 Bentonville players there. And so that's the first turnover of the year, and it goes to Bentonville at the 38-yard line of Union.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Birmingham had just kind of broken out of his route into a corner route or into a post route, and he was waving his hands, both hands up in the air, and I think that's what Dylan saw, but by that time he was covered up, and I'm not sure Birmingham was ever really wide open. He was open, maybe breaking out of the route, but that would have been tight.
6:39 to go in this first half. Still no score, but a great opportunity here for the Bentonville Tigers. Canode, their quarterback, and Schaefer will be the running back. They'll hand to Schaefer on the right side. He's got the outside. Schaefer 35, 30, down to the 25. He gets down to around the 23. Castellanos brought him down there. That's going to be a gain of about 16 and a first down for the Tigers, and they are quickly back to the line of scrimmage.
This defense going to have to find ways to get blows as Bentonville is just moving quick and just, bouncing it, couldn't catch up to him.
You saw the replay right there. Quick throw to the left side on a bit of a screen, and that one goes to Ricky Brown, and he is diagnosed quickly and knocked out of bounds. Once again, Castellanos was out there, but he wasn't alone. He also had Devin Bailey and several others. They're going to give him, we're going to make it 3 and call it 2nd and 7.
You're hoping here with some of the younger receivers on Bentonville's roster, they're kind of carrying the ball away from their bodies, is trying to make juke moves or spin, try to get around. Carrying that ball, you really hope you can poke that free if you're Castellanos. He's a turnover artist, has had pick sixes in back-to-back years.
Clouston will now be the setback next to Canode. They'll hand to Clouston on the outside. He cuts it back to the middle, and he's dragging people with him to the 12-yard line. Hankins had a hold of him back around the 17, and he would not stop. He just dragged him forward. That's a gain of about 5. We're looking at 3rd down and just over 1 for Bentonville.
Tavon Hankins, another young man, had 4 tackles last year, saw very limited action, and now this year a lot more being asked of him as essentially the middle linebacker.
Canode with motion once again, and they'll hand it off on the fly sweep to the outside, but diving down around the 12-yard line. That will not be a great play. It was Schaefer who had taken the handoff. They did give him the first down, so he got about 1.5 yards. And the other important thing for Bentonville is that first down is at the 11-yard line. They can still get another first down at the 1. And we're looking at 5:31 to go here in this first half. No score, but Bentonville very much threatening. 2 receivers right side, short slot left side with the tight end. Canode. Schaefer, left side. He got a little bit of room and gets through a crack inside Castellanos and is down to around the 5. Castellanos did a nice job of getting to that corner, but he had a double team out there. Hankins came inside out, helped get back there for the tackle, but not before they moved the football down to around the 5. It'll be 2nd down, and we'll call it 5 right there.
Getting a lot of push from this offensive line. Bentonville making big strides. Terrence Evans has now re-entered the game again, trying to keep the guys fresh, trying to cycle them out, and it looks like Evans is back in.
Cameron McCoy is well in there on that defensive line. 2nd down, they'll pitch it. Schaefer has a room, cuts back to the inside, and puts the head down and got down close to that first down. Again, Castellanos was there to help push him back to the inside. The other guy there was Jeremiah Jones, but he did cut back, and quickly Bentonville to the line of scrimmage. Clouston tosses again to Schaefer. Schaefer inside, runs into a pile, flag down in the defensive backfield. They call that a touchdown, but let's check what that flag is. Quick play right there by Bentonville as they tossed it. And I will say Schaefer didn't have a big hole, but he stuck the head down and just drove that pile backwards. But we need to see what this laundry is.
I know 99 on our team, Kyle Turner was sprinting off the field and hadn't made it off as the play
that
was
would
snapped.
be it then, yeah.
Just a dead sprint.
So it will be a touchdown. Bentonville will go up 6-0 here with 4:14 to go in this first half. Porter Fertig will be on to try to add the extra point for the Tigers. Crisp drive for Bentonville as they seem to have kind of worked out their offensive line and their running backs.
Got a short field as well, that helped.
The interception turns into 6 and maybe 7. That kick is up, and it is good. So with 4:14 to go in the first half, Bentonville draws first blood. It is the Tigers 7, Union nothing, but the Red Hawks will have it when we come back here on the Union Sports Network. We're back here at Bentonville Stadium. This is Tiger Stadium in Bentonville, where Union trails now Bentonville 7-0 as we have the very first game of this season for the Red Hawks. That drive for Bentonville, 7 plays, 38 yards. Took them only 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Clauston's 2-yard run was the touchdown, and then the kick was good. Now, that comes after the interception, and I'm sure Dylan Taylor has had the conversation with his coaching staff. The penalty, which was too many men on the field, has been assessed here. So Bentonville's going to kick off from Union's 45-yard line. So a substitution penalty, and that's what's going to cause this. And Fertig likely will boot this one into the end zone. So 4:14 to go here in this first half, 7-0 Bentonville. And the Redhawks, who outgained Bentonville some 32-4 yards in that first quarter, have yet to find themselves in this second quarter. Fertig waits. There's the approach. And that one's going to go almost all the way back to the building. So Union will take this ball, and it'll be a dead ball.
Right off the crossbar, almost. Well, here with Union, I mean, you're looking at whether it's Jeremy Foster coming out for a Wildcat, whether it's going to be Dylan Taylor. You got to find some sort of rhythm. You got to move the chains. Union had one drive where they were able to string together a bunch, and that was opened up by the run game. So we're going to see here, I mean, obviously we know early on that Jeremy Foster is going to be a big part of the game plan tonight, and I think that's good. I think Dylan Taylor, he's got Pat Thompson, someone that, number 5, kind of wide receiver, I guess you call him, Pat Thompson, someone that Coach Graham told us, we want to get him the ball, so be looking for that. Obviously, Birmingham, the big target, number 7, but Pat Thompson didn't have a touchdown catch last year, but had some big catches for this team. Look for 5 to get involved here.
Jordan Johnson had gotten hurt earlier. Teehee is playing the guard position, and they moved to someone else to the outside right there, move their guard to the outside. So it's kind of not what I wouldn't call a patchwork offensive line. Teehee, of course, has started a lot of games, but it is different. First down, handoff to Birmingham, gets to the middle, flag down, got around the 24-yard line before he is gang tackled there. I think he's going to make the 24, but that is really Garrett Wolf put a shoulder into him and drove his helmet into the ground. That would be a 5 or 6 yard gain, but I think that's going to be another procedure penalty against Union.
A lot of pre-snap movement designed by Birmingham before he took that handoff.
And like we said, these are the things, Dave, that will just drive a coach crazy. You got a really nice first down gain, and not an effort penalty, but just a concentration penalty. Cost you 5, and you'll be back at 1st and 15.
Part of this team gelling, again, first game for a lot of these guys at the 6A1 level. We have some move-ins and different things. But also, with this offense, This is an away game. This crowd shows up. This is a big atmosphere. It gets pretty loud, and so this is a test for Union to open up the season, just like it was 2 years ago when it took overtime to beat Bentonville.
Rion Williams will be the running back. Let's see if Rion can get himself free. Dylan Taylor, pump fake, is going to try to go deep to Birmingham. Birmingham almost made a spectacular catch. There was double coverage, and the coverage was not bad either by Jeremiah Chavez. But Birmingham just went straight up over the top of him, and with one arm almost brought that ball in. Unfortunately, it's 2nd and 15, but what a supreme effort.
2 back-to-back plays by Birmingham. He had the penalty that wiped out a really nice gain for him, some escapability. And then, boy, I thought he had it until the last minute, just until it popped out. I thought he came down with that. Might have been grabbed a little bit. I was seeing on the sides.
He looks a little tired, too. He's played a lot of defense tonight as well, and he looks a little tired as he goes back out there. 2nd and 15 for Union at their own 15-yard line. Down 7-0. Taylor, once again, going deep. Got a guy out there. It's Avington, but the ball is late, and it was knocked away. Avington had broken free early, but the ball was a little late, and Silas Brock got a chance to get back there and just got a hand in to knock it away. Oh, my. That is 2 plays in a row deep. Look at this replay. Dylan lays it up there, and he is open and just getting the hand in there. Oh, my. That is 2 in a row that are just inches from being big plays.
Well, when I was looking back there, Dylan Taylor, all kinds of time for missing your right tackle. Great protection from Dylan Taylor, giving him that opportunity to wind up. And Avington almost had it first, and then he could have it on the deflection. I mean, he almost got the bounce pass into him off of the safety's hands.
Timeout called here on the field, and for Union with 3:39 to go in this half, they talk about playing the middle 8. That's the final 4 of the the second quarter, the first 4 of the third quarter. And it's where a lot of teams win or lose games without question. And I think, I think this is an important time, obviously, for Union. It's 3rd and 15. You need the 30 for the first down. You have to balance, do we really push this? Do we want to kick and play defense, especially after the way Bentonville played last time? This is a very key moment in this football game. If this doesn't go well and Bentonville were to get their hands on the ball again and then score again, they get the ball to start the second half. I mean, this could really start going the other direction. So this is a huge key moment in this game.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, do they push it? Do they push it downfield? Do they try to get it to Birmingham? Do they try to get it to Abington in the flats and make something happen there and just make sure you have that possession? We know that Pat Thompson, again, I'm going to mention him, but Pat Thompson, a great possession receiver. All kinds of speed on this team, and what's the nice thing about having versatility and speedsters like Deshaun Jordan and Devin Bailey all over the place is that you don't have great options for a 3rd and 15, but you have fast options, and things can happen when you've got guys on this team that can make their defense miss. Grayson Betts hasn't broken a big one yet. Again, you may see him try to get something out into the flats rather than a straight-up run play and just see what they can make happen here.
Again, Jordan Johnson was hurt in the first quarter of this game. He went out. They were able to move some people around to replace him. Christian Teehee came in, and then not only him, but Victor Vasquez. So you're looking at guys who have played up there, although Johnson was the guy who was starting for a reason. So it is a bit of an effect for this offensive line, but they haven't shown much problem for it, especially when it comes to any pressure. So we'll come back out for a 3rd and 15. Union at their own 15-yard line. They need the 30. They trail 7-0. And there's 3:39 to go here in this first half. 5 receivers actually, 3 right, 2 left. And Bentonville showing that 4-man line, but they do have a nickel sneaking up. Let's see if they come, and they are. Taylor going to throw back to Birmingham, makes the catch, gets to the outside, breaks the tackle, got the first down, and then pushed out of bounds. Beautiful play right there, a little bit of a throwback screen, and it'll go all the way to the 36-yard line. Watch Dillon look and then throw left. And then once Birmingham catches it, an explosion and a fantastic block out front. Finally, the tackle that saved things was Evan Mall, 21 yards on the play.
Oh boy, what a throw by Dylan Taylor. They did everything right on the rush. They disguised it. They dropped their left nickel off and rushed their right guy. Dylan Taylor was just better, was able to just throw off the back foot and made it right in Birmingham's hands, make something happen.
Huge play. First down, they'll throw it quickly to the right side. Abington goes straight upfield around the 41-yard line. Pat Thompson out front with the block. A much better play there than that first play of the game. That's a 5-yard gain, and it's going to be 2nd and 5. With 3:17, Union has time. They don't have to really hurry here. They have time. They have a timeout left. They don't have to push this. They can just run their offense.
Absolutely. And I should mention, Pat Thompson, he's out there making blocks. It's just what's happening is the screen is to the side where they're overloaded. And so Pat Thompson has his man, but there's just 2 others there. Look to Abington to run more of those middle-of-the-field routes as well, as we've seen in this game and in the Stan Martin.
Yeah, if it's not Pat right there, that's not a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5 for the Redhawks. Taylor will hand off. Betts explodes upfield. Betts looks like he's got a first down and does. Gets across the 45 to the 48-yard line. He was hit maybe a little short of the first down, but he pushed forward and took Aiden McCarthy with him, and that'll be a first down now up around the 48-yard line. So you watch him be patient, and then he's hit right before the first down, and this continues to go ahead and push, and he got there. So another first down for the Redhawks. They continue to move. 2.5 to go in this half, and they trail 7-0.
What the best running backs always do is find a way to fall forward, and you never know. That could be your next first down.
Low pad level will get it for you. Taylor, in the shotgun. Wood, the tight end on the right. Dillon has to hurry. Here comes pressure, and he won't get out of it. Dillon didn't see Cole Montoya until it was a little too late, and Montoya takes him back to the 39-yard line. So you're looking at a loss of 9, and it'll be 2nd and 19. Actually, a loss of 11. It'll be 2nd and 21.
Good design.
If you watch here, Dillon is looking more straight downfield, so he doesn't see until right now that he's got that pressure coming backside.
Montoya, one of those guys already we can tell. Talk about replacing roster spots for Bentonville. I think he's going to be just fine this year, and some guy that they're probably going to end up leaning on.
2 deep safeties for Bentonville. They're going to do everything they can to make sure Union does not get behind them, and now they'll drop off into a big zone. Taylor, middle of the field. That's a nice throw and catch. And that one almost got you a first down. That's a terrific play in there. It's Jeremy Foster who made the catch. They're going to credit him only with the 45 of Bentonville. But that's going to make it 3rd down and around 3. So watch the replay here. Again, there's time for Dillon, but he makes up his mind quickly. And Foster just drags guys with him. Final tackle made in there by Hoyer Benefield. But this is a makeable 3rd down and around 3 now for the Redhawks.
Not an easy throw, and that's what we were seeing in the gridiron. Just crisp passes.
Back again is Taylor. He's got some room if he wants to run. He's going to flip his hips, throw downfield, and that one's going to be well behind the receiver. Abington had run to the outside, and there was an in cut coming from way to the outside by Foster, but he did not get there in time. This might be an excellent time for a 4th down. Go for it, though. There's 47 seconds left. It is 4th down and 3. And nope, they're going to send out the punt team. So Isaac Mooney will come on. And this is this money play. This is the Vegas play, right?
Yeah.
This is what you do when the guy at third base takes the wrong card in blackjack. You go ahead and kick the thing. But, boy, I bet he was thinking about it.
Yeah, no question. And Dylan Taylor, I think on that play, was maybe looking for a streak route, and just everybody, as you said, was in-cutting.
Mooney gets the kick. And it's going to go over the head of everybody, and it's going to bounce into the end zone. And this will come out with 39 seconds to go. And at the 20-yard line, Bentonville will have another shot. And the question is, what will Bentonville do? They have 3 timeouts left, and they lead 7-0, and they get the kickoff. They have an opportunity, if they would like to push it, to maybe take a couple of shots, Dave.
Yeah, and also they've been breaking off big run plays. So with 3 timeouts, that's not out of the playbook either.
Nope.
I think with Canode, especially with that state championship game experience, this is a guy, he completed 6 of his first 11 passes in the state championship game, having to fill in for an injured Cole Slepecki. So we know he can spin it. He looked actually really good in that game. It's just he's working with new receivers, and we'll see if Union can take advantage of that chemistry that they're still trying to build.
Schaefer, the running back, next to Canode. 1st and 10 at the 20. They will hand to Schaefer. He has to go sideways because of big Terrence, but he does, and he's still pushing forward across the 30. He has a first down to around the 33-yard line. He's just dragging guys with him. One of the guys was Devin Bailey, but there were others, and it's going to be 1st and 10, and now with 28 seconds to go, here they come. Canode will hand off once again, and again up the middle of Schaefer. He is contacted but continues to drive forward. Looks like he got about 6. And I think it is, looked for a second like Schaefer was hurt, but he was just laying down and resting. Tackle in there was by Julian Williams, or Deshaun Jordan, pardon me, by Deshaun Jordan. And it will actually be 2nd down and about 3.
Yeah, running back starting to get to that second level. Halftime can't come soon enough. And here it comes.
And here it comes. They're going to let it go ahead and run down, and Bentonville's going to be happy with a 7-0 lead. So at the end of the first half, Union trails Bentonville 7-0. A defensive game? Yeah, really it has been thus far. Let's see what the Redhawks can put together and hopefully come back in the second half. We'll be back with you right before the second half starts here on the Union Sports Network.
When you're looking for a service company and you ask a friend, who do you know, what you're really asking is who do you trust?
Our family's been earning that trust from Oklahomans since 1961, when our grandparents started Airco in the back of this old truck.
And over 60 years later, our priority is still caring for our customers.
We're proud that thousands of Oklahomans already use Airco to keep their homes comfortable.
Odds are, if you're a homeowner, the day will come where you need a company you can trust.
Let Airco be the company you know.
Shields is now open at the Woodland Hills Mall in Tulsa, and we can't thank you enough for the warm welcome. Whether you love the great outdoors, sports, or fashion, Shields has something for everyone. Our passionate and knowledgeable Shields experts are excited to welcome you to explore thousands of brands and premium products. From our golf simulator, service shop, archery lanes, and more, we're ready to get you fitted with the best gear for you. We can't wait to see you at Shields.
Does your school or organization need athletic apparel or spirit wear? Let me suggest Inkwell, a Tulsa-based company that can get you the quality you deserve at unheard of and unmatched lead times. Talking 2 weeks or less, not 2 months like most others, and can do it as much as 60% less than most of the big guys out there. So join the likes of Sand Springs, Union, Broken Arrow, Jinx, Oolaga, and Glenpool, to name a few, and get your customized sublimated uniforms, including Under Armour, Nike, or Adidas at inkwellnation.com.
Life doesn't wait for you to slow down. When you're moving fast and something doesn't feel right, Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma is here to help you stay in motion. Through our combined expertise in orthopedic surgery, non-surgical medicine, and comprehensive whole patient treatment, our team has your back and every other joint too. Ready to get back out there? Visit AOOK.com and let's move forward together. Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma. Heal, recover, advance.
Is Whataburger's Bacon Wrangler the most Texas burger ever? Well, it's got beef that's always hot off the grill, crispy onion strings, bluebonnets, football, Monterey Jack and American cheese, rodeos, chipotle aioli, big open roads, stars at night, pickles, honky-tonks, and bacon with a pinch of yeehaw. It's so dang good we made it 3 ways: Texas-sized, juniorized, and chickenized. It's the Texiest Texas thing ever to Texas. What a burger.
The right way to top a sub is with real red wine vinegar made from red grapes and no food coloring. And the right way to film it is in slow motion. Obviously. Because authentic ingredients make a sub above.
Hey Union fans, score big with TTCU Federal Credit Union School Pride Card. Each time you use your card, we donate to Union Public Schools, adding to the $2.5 million we've given statewide. TTCU, where members are raving fans.
Program's 8 state titles in 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your 3 in a row state champion, ladies Harvard softball team. Now let's hear it for the boys soccer team. Let's recognize your state champion boys soccer team. The Tigers compiled a 15-3-2 record and poured in over 70 goals during the 26th season. Bentonville hit their feet in the postseason, dominating the playoffs by outscoring their opponents 13-1. That championship run capped off with an impressive 5-1 victory over Harvard in the finals, led by 2 goals from Gatorade Player of the Year, Wyatt Osbury. This marks the 5th state title in program history. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your Tiger boys soccer team. Now we'd like to welcome to the field the boys and girls spin and dive team. The Bentonville Tigers dominated the 26th 6A state swing and diving championships, sweeping both the boys and girls team titles and capturing 8 of the 24 individual event titles along the way. The girls won by 166 points to secure their 8th consecutive state championship. The boys followed up a dominant 239-point running royalty, the Bentonville boys cross country team, led by 6'8" individual state champion Brian Burns. The Tigers captured the 25 Arkansas State Championship last November. Bentonville putting on a clinic, placed 6 runners in the top 10, securing 7 All-State honors. This victory marked their 13th championship in the last 17 years and their 9th consecutive state title. Let's hear it for the Tigers cross country team as it takes number 10 this season. Now your boys track and field team. The Tigers captured the 6A outdoor state title this spring in dominant fashion, taking on the championship by 17.5 points. 9 Tigers earned all-state honors to lock in the 7th outdoor state championship in program history. Leading the pack were 2 outstanding seniors, Brian Burns, who swept the distance events, winning state titles in both the 800 and 1600-meter runs, while shattering a 56-year-old Arkansas State record in the 800. The field against Bill Newman dominated the road, taking home individual state titles in both shot put and discus. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for your track and field state champions. Up next, your girls cross-country team. The Tigers put together an unbelievable season, winning major events against some of the nation's best, taking titles in the Dam Street Classic in Missouri, and winning our own Chili Pepper Festival in Fayetteville. After falling short to rivals in a conference meet, the Tigers showed up when it counted most, topping the field in the 6A state meet to capture the program's 16th state championship. Bentonville capped off the postseason with an impressive 5th place finish at the Nike South Regional. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your ladies Tiger cross country team. At this time, we want to recognize our 26 6A girls track and field state champions. The Lady Tigers capped off a flawless season, going undefeated against every team in Arkansas and winning the state meet by a massive 90 points. This senior class leaves an incredible legacy, having never lost an indoor or outdoor state championship meet. Individual state champions include Laney Dollar in the 300-meter hurdles and Morgan Laney in the long jump. Bentonville also dominated in the track, sweeping state titles in the 4x1, 4x2, and 4x4 meter relays. Celebrating their 4th state championship, program's 14th state overall. Let's give it up for your ladies
Welcome back to Bentonville, Arkansas. The half is almost over here. Union trailing the Bentonville Tigers by a score of 7-0. I'm Rick Coy along with Dave Davis. Richard Johns here with us as well tonight. Union and Bentonville scoreless in that first quarter. As a matter of fact, Dave, not even a first down in that first quarter. Got themselves a little looser in the second quarter. Bentonville gets their touchdown, but we stand at 7-0. And when you take a look at the statistics, you'll kind of understand why it's not a score fest.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. I mean, 2 of 7 for third downs for Union, 4 of 7 for Bentonville. But, I mean, the pass yards, 45 for Union, 28 for Bentonville. You also have the rushing yards. I mean, it's just there's not a lot of offense out there. I was really impressed with our defense for most of that first half. We talked about the middle 8, and you brought that up, Rick. I'll tell you what, that last 4, with that Birmingham conversion on the third down, the 3rd and long where he went down the sidelines, that's something that you can hang on to in a time where Jeremy Foster is leading in rushing and receiving so far for Union. That Tristan Birmingham reception and conversion on 3rd down, that was big, and that's something you can carry forward.
Well, one of the things that you're looking at here is Dave mentioned rushing yards. 36 yards is all for Union rushing. Bentonville for 73 yards. So a total of 81 yards at the half for Union, 101 for Bentonville. That's 182 total yards for the two teams. And Richard pointed out, we've seen quarters with that kind of offense. Now, we're not just giving this completely to offensive problems. The defenses have been very good here tonight, and they've kept each other in check. What we have seen, though, is that Union has not quite found a rhythm yet, and Bentonville did on the 1 touchdown drive. Now, to the middle 8 thing, if it were not for that conversion and then Union at least being able to hold the football long enough, that could have been much worse. So there was no score in that last 4 minutes of the first half. The first 4 of this one are going to be big too. Bentonville gets the football. But that, I think, was key. Even if Union didn't get anything out of it, they didn't allow Bentonville to get further away.
Yeah, pinned him back at the 20 after the punt. Really couldn't do anything. They ran the ball twice, and it was done. It came at the perfect time. Halftime was exactly the time when they were starting to drag our tacklers a little bit, and so now our guys go in, get the pep talk. They're going to come right back out on defense to start this third quarter. And, Union wants to start the third quarter like they start the first quarter, breaking through the offensive line, Terrence Evans being a monster, getting after the quarterback. Even through all that and the running backs kind of breaking our tackles, we were still penetrating, and we were still getting into the backfield on Canode. Again, this is Canode's first year as a starter. Dylan was the starter last year with Skylar, but this is Canode's first year as a starter. This is the time where he's trying to protect a 7-0 lead. He's not done this before, so Union needs to fluster him, and they need to get in the backfield and hurry him and really cause problems and make him think.
Dylan Taylor, 5 of 12 with 1 interception in this first half. No touchdowns. And already Dave mentioned Jeremy Foster, 2 carries for 22 yards rushing. He leads Union. Betts has 18 yards. Williams has 12. When it comes to receiving, Foster 2 catches for 17 yards, with Tristan Birmingham 1 for 21. So we are set. We are about to get this thing underway for the second half. Bentonville will have their kickoff return team out. Union will bring out Isaac Mooney to kick. Bentonville has yet to return a kick here tonight. Back deep for them is Judson Brown, and the other guy back is Evan Canode. Well, is that Canode? Nope, actually, sorry, that's not Canode. That looks like Hoyer Benefield.
Not the easiest jerseys to read.
Well, from here, yeah,
Silver,
that 9 right there is pulled up a little tight. So Union now running one late player on the field, and we'll see if we can get this thing underway. 7-0 Bentonville as we get ready to start this second half. This is a different kickoff artist, too. Coming to kick the ball off was Thomas Parker, and that ball is going to bounce out of bounds. Nope, fair catch. All right, sorry, it looked like it bounced out of bounds. It's going to go around the 26-yard line, and that's where Bentonville will take it. That was a bit of a surprise to see somebody else. It was Jared Zabala, who came out and made that kickoff, and it will result in a first down for Bentonville.
Union trying different special teams guys who are on the soccer team. We understand Sapala was a pretty good soccer player, and just, guys who can kick the air out of the ball. That was probably his first varsity kick, and we hope that he continues to get better. But just trying things on special teams so far, we've put Bentonville behind the line. We've done a pretty good job special teams-wise with putting them in compromising positions.
At their 26-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Canode to his right is Schaefer. He'll hand off there, and he's hit immediately. He's going to push forward for maybe a yard, but he's not going to get much further than that, depending on when they finally stop that pile moving. That's not a bad play, considering that he was hit very early. Look at the replay here. Clouston, is the guy who takes the ball. Clouston takes it early, and there is an initial hit very quickly, right in the middle of the screen, and then he continues to push. You can see his offensive lineman pushing as well. He got about 2, and it'll be 2nd down and 8.
Edge, Jeremiah Jones, somebody who we've talked about trying to get in double team there.
Fly sweep, and that will go to around the 32-yard line, maybe the 33-yard line. It was Stroud who took that handoff. He's taken down by Edison for one, Damarian out there playing, and also Castellanos. So he got about 3. We're going to call this 3rd down and a long 4, short 5. Just underway in this third period, 7-0 for Bentonville, and there's a player down for Union.
That's going to be Dallas Maxey. Went down just exactly like you would think a cramp would be. He's walking, and then he just flops, to the ground. So we're hoping that that's all that it is at this point. But he was fine, and then he wasn't. Obviously, as you mentioned, Rick, 92 at kickoff. We saw a lot of cramps in games that have already been played so far in the high school football season. It's early and still, 82 degrees out. But Dallas Maxey, hopefully we just work out the cramps here and it's all good.
Problem is when you start to cramp now, it's going to be very difficult to recover, but that is definitely a cramp as you see the Union training staff working on him. Jacob Newby walking back to the sidelines. Dan Newman is overseeing, but one of his assistants has stretching Dallas Maxey out. And you understand and you tell your players about hydration and all that, but this is a time when there's so much adrenaline, so much excitement for that first game, and sometimes it's easy to forget. So we're going to have a 3rd down and a very important 4 to 5 yards to go for Bentonville. They're just outside their own 31-yard line, and they need right at the 36. So again, it's about 4.5 to go.
Noah Hamilton, number 24, slipping in at middle linebacker. He is Terrence Evans' cousin. He's one of the other move-ins. He moved in from Arizona. So cousins, Evans and Hamilton on the field together right now.
Clouston to the right. They're going to hand off once again on the fly sweep, and there's room. There is a 1st down across the 40-yard line up to the 42, 43. That is Aiden McCarthy who makes that run at the end. That was finally, I believe, Castellanos who brought him down, but that's good all the way up to the 42-yard line. And you're going to see immediately when he hits that corner, there's a good block on the corner. He had plenty of room. One player overruns, and it's a 1st down for Bentonville. Quickly to the line of scrimmage as they are waving players around. Finally, a player runs off the field late. Canode, pump fakes, wants to go deep, fires middle of the field, and he bounced it in there. He had Blake Stroud open, and he just downright bounced that ball, and that's lucky for Union. That was going to be another 1st down. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Those early season nerves, maybe just over-torquing it, overthrowing it a little bit into the ground. We weren't able to get the rush there. Rocky Bright kind of went outside and got pushed out by the right tackle, allowing Canode that time. But we were there not too far from the receiver. I don't think he would have got too far, but Union glad for that one hopper.
2nd down and 10 for Bentonville. They lead 7-0 with 10:34 to go here. This is the first possession in this third period. Canode will fake and then hand off to the right side. A lot of room right there, and pounding forward is Clouston. He's down all the way to the Union 45-yard line. And we talked a little bit right there about one of the Union linebackers. That is Hamilton, and he's the guy who made that tackle. But watch the hole and then the explosion here by Clouston. Quickly, once again, Bentonville to it, running the screenplay, lots of room. Clouston takes middle of the field, and a wonderful play out there. That was Rion Williams. That is only a 1-yard gain. When Clouston caught that football, it looked like he would have a lot more. That is a tremendous play by Rion.
Well, Canode gets it over 2 outstretched arms. Terrence almost tips the ball, somehow gets it out. And, I think Rion saved easily 20 yards, if not just a breakaway. Touchdown.
By the way, Pat Thompson with a big play on the play before that. 2nd down and 9, now in Union territory, are the Bentonville Tigers. Canode, once again with Schaefer to his right. Canode will fake and then throw to the right side. That ball is caught and taken down immediately as Stroud. It's a nice play out there by Devin Bailey, and that got them to around Union's 38-yard line. So looking at 3rd down, it's going to be right at 3 yards to go as this drive continues for Bentonville. They took it to start the second half and have not given it back. 9:17 to go now in this third period.
Yeah, this is a drive now, and this is the put-up time for the Union Redhawks. They're doing a lot of comeback routes, a lot of out routes. We'll see if they might try to surprise us with going deep here.
Canode Hands off. Schaefer, a lot of room again. Schaefer through the middle, almost broke through, but he got it. Yeah, he's down to the 25-yard line. And again, a saving tackle in there by Devin Bailey, or he's going to score. That goes all the way to the 25-yard line. It's another first down, and quickly, here come the Tigers. Canode again. They'll hand off once again, and Schaefer is taken down from behind. Give that credit there to Jeremiah Jones as he came off that backside. Still a gain of maybe 2. So it'll be second down and around 8, and another Red Hawk is down. There was a late block in there, but I think this is another cramp. It's Castellanos. And give credit right there because one of the Bentonville trainers ran out immediately and is helping right now. Now Dan Newman is out, and he will take the foot and the leg. But credit Bentonville for getting out there quickly to help out. Castellanos went down right in front of their bench. So that's cramp number 2 for Union.
That was hard to tell. It looked like Frank Lavelle or Jack Grant, one of their enormous guys on this offensive line, fell on Castellanos on top of that. So you have the cramp. Also looked like he might have got the air knocked out of him. As you mentioned, it kept going after the play, and Castellanos ended up on the bottom and just was smooshed.
Well, when you end up with about 315 pounds on top of you, yeah, smooshed is a good word. He looked a little bit like they were trying to make s'mores.
Castellanos, last guy you can lose on this defense right now. He's had a nice night playing a new position, but then again, he's played a new position every year. He's been moved around a lot. He's done kick returns. He's done safety. He's done kind of the star striker in the middle, and now he's more of a linebacker. We hope he can get up and just be okay here.
Get him to the sidelines. Get him some pickle juice, folks. Here we go. I was around one head coach in college that when you went through walkthrough, that day, the day of the game, when you came out, there would be a Glad bag with 3 pickle spears in it in a gigantic barrel right by the door, and everybody had to eat 3 pickles. And even if you hated pickles, you had to eat the 3 pickles, and the whole point was to try to help stop cramps, or, and I'm not sure about this, maybe he just had stock in a pickle company. But the pickles were required coming out of the locker room.
I was going to say that, or either maybe improve your gag reflex, getting pickles out of a plastic bag.
I
will
admit that I pilfered at least 2 or 3 of those. Second down and 8 now for Bentonville. They're at the Union 29-yard line. There's a handoff straight up the middle, and again weaving forward down inside the 20-yard line. That is Steven Schaefer, and they're going to mark him right at the 20. Birmingham in there, Rion Williams in there. Part of the folks on the tackle right there also, Brandon Phillips. And it will be third down now and around 5. We're going to call it again short 5, long 4.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're running a wide receiver across in a sweep route. So they basically got a triple option where they're running the fake sweep and then handing it to the running back, just trying to pull guys away from the play.
Well, they've given the ball to Stroud, and they do it again. Stroud on the outside gets down to around the 15. He's going to be close. Thompson helping to stop him right there. First hit was by Cornegay. But I think that's going to be a first down, and it will be. They'll mark him at the 14-yard line. Tigers move the ball again, and with 7:46 to go in this third period, Bentonville continues the drive. They are now 4 of 4 or 3 of 3 on third down in this drive, 4 of 4 on this drive. But they've given themselves makeable third downs, Dave.
Yeah, and they have a stable of running backs. They have the 2 running backs that we've seen all night long keeping each other fresh.
Clouston is that guy, and they pull Union off sides. That was a really exaggerated, very exaggerated hand clap in there by Canode. And Cameron McCoy came off sides quickly. And I know I'm a little surprised they let Canode get away with that because he stepped to the line of scrimmage in a big demonstrative way and threw those hands up. And in some ways, I've seen that called as misleading before. And,
right.
And if nothing else, kind of gone forward.
Right on that line.
Canode doesn't move that time. Ball's on the ground, but they pick it up and hand it off. Breaking through the middle at the 5, down to the 1-yard line is Clouston. They may mark him at the 1.5. Rion, part of the guys in there on that tackle. Let's look at the replay here. The ball's on the ground, and he picks it up, and then you see him just burst through the guard tackle slot. And he got right between there before he could get corralled, and now it's going to be first and goal. They'll hand it off, and he's into the end zone. That's a touchdown. That is Schaefer once again, Clouston once again, as he pushes into the end zone. And just as we feared, Bentonville takes the second half kickoff, and they make it 13-0.
This is an absolutely methodical drive for the Tigers, starting this third quarter like they've been playing together all season. Offensive line in total unison. The running backs, the sweep wide receiver, everybody's finding the right holes. All the right blocks are being made, and it's starting to open up for them. Union with an opportunity here. Have to do something on this next possession, but textbook for Bentonville, and this game continues, Rick, to just fly by.
Fertig on for the extra point. Good snap. And the kick is up, and they say it's good. So with 6:50 to go in this third period, it is crunch time now for Union. Redhawks trailing 14-0, and they need something in this offensive possession. Their first of the second half. We'll see it when we come back here on the Union Sports Network. Back here in Bentonville after the touchdown by the Tigers, the play, 13 plays, 74 yards. Took him 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Clouston's second touchdown, a 2-yard run. And in that, it was a 4 of 4 third downs there did Bentonville connect on, and they have had 6 straight in a row. Kickoff comes straight back, and it is taken by Union's Grayson Betts. Betts across the 30, 35-yard line. That's a great return by Betts up to around the 36. They may only give him the 35-yard line, but a nice return and sets Union up very well. Initial tackle in there by Darius Boone. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Redhawks. And now, Dave, what we talked about in the first half, or pardon me, in that first drive, Union needs to do the same thing.
Well, absolutely. In your athletes like Grayson Betts, like Avington, the guys who broke off the big plays. Birmingham had a 70-yarder in the scrimmage against a very good Mustang team in an actual mini game is what they called it. Your athletes have to make plays. They have to make something out of short yardage potentially. We're really not able to uncover in this zone coverage yet, so somebody has to take something short, it looks like, and going to make a big gain.
Rion Williams gets the handoff. He's going to burst up the middle. Rion across the 45-yard line and got to the 46, 47-yard line. First down by Rion. They're only going to give him the 46. He fell forward past that. Tackle in there will go to Aiden McCarthy, but that's a first down, and the Redhawks will quickly be to the line of scrimmage. Now, if you watch Rion, look at the patience. Stop, and then go. And then when he bursts forward, he shows that power.
And not one single person is going to take him down. He's going to have to be gang tackled. That's what you need. And you need to find that second running back to complement Rion Williams. They're hoping it's Grayson Betts, but if Rion's doing that, Union's in good shape.
2 short slots here. Now Wood in motion. They're going to toss once again to Rion. He's got room to the outside across midfield. He's going to be up to around the 46-yard line of Bentonville. Met right over there by Silas Brock. He got 9. Well, they're going to give him 8. And it'll be 2nd down and 2. And now we are watching Union on the move. Watch Rion Williams here, again with great patience.
Yep, and you give him a head of steam. He's already running on the toss play. Love the play design. Again, as tough as it's felt these last 4 minutes, it's still 14-0 Union right smack dab in this game.
2nd down and 2. They'll hand off to Rion again. He cuts sideways, makes the first down, and he's to the 40-yard line. And there should have been a tackle probably a yard behind the line of scrimmage, but he just made one guy lose him completely. Final tackle by Garrett Wolf. It's 1st and 10 at the 41 now of Bentonville.
In Elon Reagan, 66, the left guard in there, a little bit of gamesmanship, goes down late. He was kind of pushed or bumped into by somebody trying to draw a foul there, trying to draw a penalty, trying to draw something to help this continue the Redhawks move forward.
Betts will be the running back at this point. 1st and 10 now at the 41 of Bentonville. Reverse, here comes Tristan Birmingham. He cuts back to the inside and cannot get much. He got about 3. Credit on that one to number 23, Davis Kulka, because he stayed home. He made him cut back to the inside and held that to a 3-yard play. Birmingham goes down, and I think once again he's probably cramping. Yep, he is cramping. He'll be the 3rd cramp of the game. Here's the replay. Watch the design. And it's a very good design as everybody's going to the right. Union's running game has now in this, at least in this drive, picked up to the point that Bentonville's just had to pay attention. So they started off to the right. They'll toss back to Birmingham, but watch the move. He should have been tackled probably short, but you see right there he gets back to the inside. But that's why you credit number 23, Davis Kolka, with making that only a 3-yard play.
Yeah, no question. I mean, Birmingham, again, getting the balls to our athletes. What are we doing? It's Rion Williams bouncing it outside. It's Birmingham on the reverse, who, by the way, it's being tossed to him by Jeremy Foster, who has already 22 yards rushing, so he could keep it and go. You never know what he's going to do because Foster is that kind of athlete. Birmingham is that kind of athlete. And you hope that these guys are able to, I know it's always hard to catch up on hydration, but you hope the Dallas Maxis, the Castellanoses, and the Tristan Birminghams are able to overcome. This is a one-time cramp, we hope, and that they can overcome this. Because, again, 5 minutes left here and then a whole fourth quarter to play.
And almost everybody that we're talking about that has ended up with cramps, these are guys that have been going both ways. And, we saw a little bit of that last night in that Jinx game, is in that late in that game when South Lake Carroll doesn't play almost anyone both ways. Jinx had a lot of guys who were just really tired at the end of that game. Well, you've got a lot of these guys. And we were told, again, on Wednesday when we went and met with Antonio Graham, we have to have our best 11. And if it's the same 11 that played defense, then they're going to have to go play offense. And, again, as the season goes along, that will get easier.
And as the weather hopefully gets cooler here, I mean, it just starts off so hot. You're just sweating right off the bus. It's hot in Oklahoma. It's hot in Arkansas. So you just hope this is a first game thing and hope that these guys can come back 100%. But again, Birmingham will have to come off and put some different personnel. Betts comes on. Looks like we got Castellanos in, so that's good. He's back after getting smooshed.
And a cramp on him, too.
Yep.
So it'll be second down. We're going to call it 6. Union at the 37 or 38, of Bentonville. 14-0 Tigers. Union hoping to get to the scoreboard here. Handoff right side, Betts, and he smashes straight up the middle, pushing people with him. Betts down to the 32-yard line. He hit a linebacker square in the chest, and that linebacker was Garrett Wolf, and Wolf was just backpedaling because Betts put his helmet right in his chest. You'll watch it right here.
And if it's a 6'2", 200 guy or a 5'7" guy, a helmet in the chest is going to wake you up in week 0 of high school football. Great job by Grayson Betts, and that's the example I was talking about earlier. The shorter running backs, they can get lost in the backfield. You can't see them over the center, the tackle, the guard, and he just was on Garrett Wolf right now.
Only 6 on the play clock. They'll have to hurry. Third down and 2. They need the 31-yard line. Foster in at the quarterback spot. He'll take it himself. Jeremy gets right at, he's just short. Jeremy got just to the 32-yard line. It will be 4th down and about 1. When Foster cut it back to the inside, I thought he had a pretty good chance to get that first down. But then Davis Kolka came out of almost nowhere, and it will be 4th and 1.
This is where you love to have a Jeremy Foster. This is where you love the heavy package. You got Terrence Evans in there.
Foster just jumps up in the middle, and I don't know. This is going to be close. I think they marked him right at the 31. I think he got it. The difference will be the mark, and it is on this side looking like it is a first down, and the official said as it is. And when he jumped, I wasn't sure he had it, but the official on the far side, that line judge or the side judge, came quickly out and said first down.
Again, athletes. Jeremy Foster can do it all. He's done it all already this game, and you're leaning on him. Even though when you jump in the air, it's not the same as crossing the goal line, crossing the first down. You still got to hold on to that ball. I think Bentonville maybe thought either they stopped it, maybe they thought they had a strip there. Great job from Foster.
First down now at the 32-yard line. Rion Williams will be back into the running back. Rion takes it, dances forward. Got down to, I think, the 26.5. That's going to be nearly a gain of 5, and he's just hard to find in there. And they're finding that out now as, once again, it is number 23, Kolka, who made the play. We'll give him 4 and call it 2nd and 6. But with a 14-0 lead, Bentonville is giving ground, but it's grudgingly with 3 minutes to go in this third period.
Another great job by Dylan Taylor there, selling it on the fake pass. There was just a little flick movement that he made at the end that jumped the linebacker, cornerback's eyes into the backfield and allowed Rion a little more space.
Dylan is hoping to get a chance to throw one of these things. And then he'll take it right up the middle. Dylan straight forward down to around the 17-yard line. They're going to mark him at the 20? He ended up at the 16-yard line. I'm not sure how they're marking him at the 20, but they are. Still, it's good for a first down. maybe his knee touched, but watch here, Dave, as he gets down. Oh, he's clearly inside the 20-yard line.
That's 18-yard line. That's an 18-yard line minimum. And he took a hit there. Someone else may have taken a hit. Someone's down on the field for Bentonville.
Yeah, Bentonville looks like they have another cramp. Well, we can't really tell.
You know, something that Coach Graham, as we try to see what's happening with this player, he already is wearing the large padded helmet. We know he's that player. And so he's kind of writhing in pain, holding his face mask.
Looks like they're working his right ankle.
Yeah, that's tough there, and we hope he's all good. You know, something that's good about Dylan Taylor that we are seeing is that the coach said, you know, he doesn't mind getting contact. And you don't always want that from your quarterback, but on plays like that where he hasn't run all game, he didn't run that much last year because that was Skylar Mormon's job. It's just that extra Swiss Army knife, that extra utility that you have in your pocket. Oh, he's going to pull it. We've seen Rion. We've seen Grayson Betts take it. Oh, he's going to pull it, and he's just going to go forward for a first down. So that versatility, you don't want to take him too many hits, but Dylan Taylor, I like the run.
Silas Brock, the safety, is the guy who was down, by the way. And, you know, one of the things that Antonio told us again on Wednesdays, he said, you know, there were a couple of times in that mini game where he pulled it and ran, and he said, he wasn't supposed to do that. He said, and I'm trying to convince him too. Slide, no head first, slide. But in this situation, you needed the first down, and you got it. So the Redhawks will be at the 20-yard line with a first down with 2:43 to go in this third period, but trailing 14-0. However, they have found themselves a little bit here. And I don't think Dylan has thrown the ball in this drive, has he? Yeah, it's been 0 throws. But Bentonville came out, and I don't know that they threw it on their drive either. So this third quarter, which is going by in a hurry, has been nothing but let's just go ahead and pound the football 3 yards in a cloud of artificial whatever.
Pellets. They're manufactured tires now, Rick. 3 yards in a cloud of tires.
Not everybody. Some people are using coconut husks now.
Ooh, yeah.
And things like that don't, that aren't toxic in some ways.
Right.
Don't give off fumes, and that are softer and that don't get stuck in everything.
I like that. 3 yards in a cloud of coconut husk.
Whatever it takes, brother.
That's what we're seeing here, and I like everything I'm seeing with this Union drive. Just pound it. This offensive line is in a rhythm.
1st and 10 now for the Redhawks. And again, they did lose early on in this game. They lost Jordan Johnson, but Teehee and the others have filled in nicely. 1st and 10, and it will be Rion Williams in the running back slot. Taylor will hand to Rion. He's going to jump up inside. Oh, he jumps back to the outside. Rion's got a chance. 15, 10, 5, and he's going to be out of bounds. Williams was flipped out of bounds right there by Evan Mall, but boy, he left people left and right all over the place. They'll have him at the 6. Watch how many people miss Rion Williams.
And you know, how do you replace a Tay Perry, a back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher? Looks a little bit like him right there, doesn't he? Not just because he's wearing the 0. That was a Tay Perry run. And if you're going to get that from Rion Williams, this is going to be a fun year.
1st and goal now from the 6 for the Redhawks. They trail 14-0. Need a score here. They'll fake it, and it'll be Dylan Taylor. And give Dylan Taylor credit. He was stacked up at the 6, and he pushes all the way down to the 2. Now, his big offensive line was helping him, but Dylan should have been stacked up at the 6.
You love to see that from Dylan, even though he meant to hand off and kind of pulled it. Maybe there was a mesh.
But, that looked like an RPO, and maybe he just got there behind.
How did he do that, though? How did he get those 5 yards? That's unbelievable.
Here we are now at 2nd down and goal from the 2 for the Redhawks. Got a short slot, and that is Foster here on the left side. They'll hand to Rion, puts the head down. He's not going to get there. As a matter of fact, I don't know that he got a yard. He might have lost a half a yard. They're going to say he lost a half a yard. Coming up with that tackle was Hoyer Benefield, and it'll be 3rd down and goal. And Rion is down.
Oh, boy.
He got popped pretty good. And he also is kind of writhing in pain here. Dan Newman is out quickly. And he is pointing to his lower right leg. Oh, no, they're working on his right knee.
One of those guys.
Let's see in the replay if we can see. We'll get the replay from Andy and the UView crew here. That is Eli and Yuli.
You can't lose
this guy. So he puts the head down and goes. They just kind of looked like they may have twisted his ankle at the end. It didn't look like a violent hit.
Mm-mm.
So really difficult to tell where that came from.
Immediately writhing. Yeah, I think the tackle just kind of held on to his right leg, and I don't think it was anything nasty. I think he just kind of held onto his leg, and Rion was going one way and he was going the other, and it just was not a good combination, obviously, with Rion here.
I can't tell if it's a knee or a high ankle. I think Dan has his hand up under that knee pad. But once again, we'll see whether or not he pops up and looks much better as he walks off. Matter of fact, he'll probably jog off. Betts will come in and take his place on a very important 3rd down and goal from around the 2.5-yard line. Minute 31 to go, 3rd period. Union trailing 14-0. And Dave, 3 would be okay, but you really need 7.
Yeah, and when's the next time you're going to get down at the 3-yard line? And that's the other thing when you factor in kicking a field goal, as you were able to do with Gavin Litchfield, the tried and true guy last year. When's the next time you're going to be this deep into the territory? I think it's going to be 4-down territory all the way. I think you're going for it either way.
Tight ends everywhere. Tight formation. Birmingham out here to the left, and it will be Betts in the running back slot. 3rd and goal. They'll hand off to Betts. Forward pushes, but he won't get there. I think he got to about the 1.5, and he is shoved backwards. Big part of that was Ethan Hoffman, and it will be 4th and goal, and now it's a decision time for the Red Hawks.
I know Tristan wants to go for it. He's getting animated, but we see Grayson Betts almost looked like he was going to break through there. Almost had that hole. It closed up, and these guys are just working together like it's week 9 already. We'll see who's out there. I know sometimes they like Jeremy Foster in these packages, but he is not at yep, there he is. He's out there.
He's out there, but he will not be in the quarterback spot.
Right.
Taylor will be in the quarterback slot. Betts at the tailback slot. Foster is going to be lined up at a short slot on the left side, and there's a timeout out there. And I wonder, this is one of those where you're thinking Foster comes back to the inside, in Richard and I's day, they call it a belly play. In the old days, where you've got a little bit, you got maybe a toss sweep to the right side fake, and you hand it back inside. Those old plays were very effective because they were, in essence, a misdirection, but simply a trap play. And with Foster where he was, I could see a different version of that coming right there.
Yeah, well, there's no question because we've gone all inside, and we're setting them up for something. We're setting them up to bounce something outside, whether, it be a trap play, whether it be some sort of toss. Everything is going inside, and they're getting us inside. Get us out on the edge. Make their cornerbacks make tackles. Make somebody other than their big dogs, the big inside linebackers and 3-down linemen make the tackle.
Well, and you've got to have 7 here. And the simple reason you have to have 7 is not just because it's 14-0 and almost out of the 3rd quarter. This is becoming like an Army-Navy game or an old Rice game. You're not going to get more than maybe one other possession in the 4th period. If you get 2, there's a turnover. So you've got to have the 7 here, or you have very little chance in this 4th period if this game continues the way it is. So it's 4th and goal around the 2-yard line. Rion Williams is back in at that running back slot. Foster is that short slot on the right side. Heavy set, 3 offensive linemen. Actually, 3 offensive linemen left side here, including Edison. Handoff, Rion bounces outside, and he bounced inside. I think he got there, and they say he did. That's a touchdown as Rion Williams leaves Bentonville, Tigers all over the field. 2 Bentonville players are hurt. One of those is Rupert, who's been very good tonight. We'll take a look at the replay. When he first gets the football, it doesn't look like he's going to score. He almost bounces it, but right there, he put the head down and just pushed right through Mason Burnett to get that score.
Guy who missed the tackle looked like 42. Maybe Garrett Wolf he's the one who went down. He just dropped. And I don't know if his leg went the wrong way or if it's just a cramp, but that's why he missed the tackle. He had Rion dead to rights.
Well, if it's him and Rupert down, those are 2 of their better defensive players. And it's now 14-6, and we are 41 seconds to go in this 3rd period, and we've had 2 possessions. Bentonville had 1 possession, Union 1 possession thus far, so Bentonville will get a short possession here. But this has been a quarter of let's run the football.
Yeah, and you're starting to see all the cramps and everything coming into play. And as the guys start dropping, and especially, as you mentioned, Rick, some of their defensive players, some of our guys, there may be some more holes. Boy, couldn't get bigger than that, though. 41 seconds in this game. Union finally breaks through, and you have the stats here. Did he throw a pass?
No, there were no passes in the Union drive.
It's just all runs all the time.
14 plays, 65 yards, 6 minutes. Bentonville's drive had been 13 plays, 74 yards, 5 minutes, 10 seconds. So 27 plays between the two, 11 minutes and 10 seconds of possession time. between the two in those two drives. You get Williams' 2-yard touchdown run. And now, one of the things that Union had kind of an adventure with in the mini game was kicking.
Yeah.
This is a huge extra point. And I'm assuming it's going to be Isaac Mooney, but we'll look out there and see who runs out to do this once Bentonville gets their players up.
It's been interesting on special teams how Coach Graham was able to convince two of the soccer guys to come on. I mean, he said, Leo Esparza got him back from soccer. He had gone to soccer, got him back from the soccer team. And then Jared Sapala, who we mentioned earlier, he said, Coach told us Sapala's maybe the best soccer player in the entire school. And he was able to be convinced by Antonio Graham to come out and play as one of the place kickers. So we'll see if it's going to be Sapala, if it's going to be Esparza, whoever it is, got to go through the uprights.
So it does appear like it is going to be Leo Esparza. Esparza, the tall drink of water with the bright orange shoes, will line up. Pat Thompson will hold. The deep snapper is Wood. Big, big extra point coming up right here. 14-6 Bentonville. Need this extra point. Good snap. There's the kick. It is low, but it is good. So with 41 seconds to go in this third period, it is 14-7. We'll keep it here because they won't be very long before they kick off. And Dave, obviously, not only is that a guts drive, that was an absolutely you had to drive to get that 7. Now, these two teams began the first quarter with 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs. That's exactly what this Union defense needs now.
Yeah, and it's what Coach Graham talked about with us about violence and physicality. This is where it comes in. It's like, okay, offensive line showed violence and physicality. They outmuscled a Bentonville team that had been beating us physically since halfway through the second quarter. They just outmuscled them. They just outmuscled them right there on that drive and pushed them around. Now it's the defense's turn to push the offensive line around and to break through.
And the good news is, your defense had to be worn out from that drive Bentonville had. Well, now they've had a lot of time to rest. So if you can 3 and out, you are going to put their defense right back on the field in a situation where they're tired.
It's especially important when you got guys going both ways like Rion Williams,
There's
number
a touchdown
0.
again, and you see Rion do the really good job of just collecting that ball because it almost popped out of his arms.
Fourth down.
So Esparza will kick it off deep. The deepest player right now back for Bentonville is, I believe it's Cole Martin. They have 2 number 8s, as does everybody in history in high school football. Esparza approaches. That one's going to be high and a little bit short, but it will be taken around the 18-yard line, straight up to 25. 20 breaks free, across the 35 to the 37, maybe the 38-yard line. There's almost a saving tackle in there by Tavon Hankins. But that's a tremendous return by either Cole Martin or Parker Tutt. We don't know which one. And honestly, when I talked to one of their QA guys earlier this week, I said, tell me about your special teams. He said, I don't know very much about it. That's exactly what he said.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something. If that's Parker Tutt, that's a third-string quarterback running that out. So it might be the other guy, but you never know, Rick, because look at our backup quarterback.
Yeah, you got our backup quarterback playing tight end, so who knows. All right, 1st and 10 now for Bentonville. They lead by 7 at their own 38-yard line. Big drive here for everybody. They're going to pull it, and throw downfield is going to be caught. That is Ricky Brown down around the 30, maybe 2-yard line. Let's see where they pushed him out of bounds. They're going to say the 31-yard line, and he's knocked out of bounds there by Birmingham, but that's a tremendous throw there by Canode. You watch Canode on the replay just give himself enough time, and Brown cleared just behind Birmingham and just in front of Devin Bailey. That is a big first down.
I mean, he hasn't completed a pass in an hour. I mean, it's just been all running, and that's really impressive by Canode. Again, Jeremiah Jones, number 9, has not broken free yet, but he was double-teamed once again. If not, he might have broken through.
31 yards on that pass play. And now 2 Bentonville players down again. There's one back around the 35-yard line. That's an offensive lineman. And here around the 33-yard line on the other end looks to be maybe a receiver or defensive back. Both are laying where we cannot see their numbers. Either way, it is 2 down again for Bentonville. One of those players is about to pop up, and that is going to be big number 58 for Bentonville, Miles Mealing, and he looks like he's all right. Union has a player down too. and that is Birmingham once again. So that's going to be once again cramps more than likely with Tristan. He is, even after that first set of cramps, he has continued to play.
That's going to be a big deal. That's going to be a big deal as he's got a whole other quarter to play in 80-degree heat. It's the war of attrition now with the hydration. Who can keep hydrated? Can anybody catch up on their hydration? And if you start getting cramps, can you recover enough to play at your best for the rest of this game? I think that's what it's going to come down to. Whether it's your best player or somebody who just came into, we're going to see a lot of what we're made of in the fourth quarter. Who's going to be able to gut it out and overcome lack of hydration on some of these cases to try to break through the finish line here.
Are there enough pickles left
Yeah.
to keep everybody on the field? First down and 10 for Bentonville. They lead 14-7. They're now at Union's 31-yard line after that 31-yard attempt. Canode will hand it off, and that is Clouston straight up the middle. He'll get maybe two, maybe. Whoa, he's pushed forward. Clouston looked like he was going down at the 30, but they could not quite hold him there. Finally dragging him down is Tavon Hankins. They'll give him 4, and it's 2nd and 6.
It's like Devin Bailey starting to stretch it out a little bit. On this one, they're still running that sweep action, the sweep action where you've got the options of either sweeping it or handing it off to the running back.
And that will be the end of the quarter. So we get to the fourth quarter, and it is the first fourth quarter of the year. We begin 6A1 football for Oklahoma as Union trails 14-7 back with the fourth quarter against Bentonville here at Bentonville on the Union Sports Network.
When you're looking for a service company and you ask a friend, who do you know, what you're really asking is, who do you trust?
Our family's been earning that trust from Oklahomans since 1961, when our grandparents started Airco in the back of this old truck.
And over 60 years later, our priority is still caring for our customers.
We're proud that thousands of Oklahomans already use Airco to keep their homes comfortable.
Odds are, if you're a homeowner, the day will come where you need a company you can trust.
Let Airco be the company you know.
Hey, Union fans, score big with TTCU Federal Credit Union School Pride Card. Each time you use your card, we donate to Union Public Schools, adding to the $2.5 million we've given statewide. TTCU, where members are raving fans.
We begin the fourth period here at Bentonville, Arkansas. Rick Corey with Dave Davis and Mr. Richard Johns. It is 14-7 Bentonville, and they have a second down and 6 yards to go now at the Union 26-yard line. We had ourselves a pretty defensive game until Bentonville got a couple of scores in that first, got a score in the first half, and then a very dominating second period for both offenses. Canode will hand it off. Nope, he's going to fake it. Instead, throw it to the left side, and that is taken around the 28-27-yard line by Stroud, and he is backed up. No gain for Stroud as Dallas Maxey was there, and he was joined by Rion Williams and several others. It'll be a big, big down coming up for Bentonville. No gain right there.
One of the advantages of running this offense, they're just running the same thing over and over, but you can go to the three options. You could pass it, you can pull it, hand it to the running back, hand it to the sweeping wide receiver. If you don't want to pass it to him, you just hand it off. So many options, but they're running the same play and all kinds of things Union has to take into consideration here.
3rd and 6. If they get to the 22-yard line, it will be a first down. Bentonville, Canode alone in the backfield this time. Canode running to his right. Here comes the pressure. They're going to go back to screen left side. It is completed to 30, down inside the 20, and the first down is completed. That was Sam Dunn who made the catch, and that was a pretty play by Bentonville. Now we have a little bit of an extracurricular there as they made the tackle. That was, I think, it was Deshaun Jordan who came up off that pile, and the two were kind of scuffling a little. And give the official credit.
Yeah.
He could have started to throw laundry right there, and instead he dragged the two players apart, separated them, and said, guys, let's play football, and did not call a penalty.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. I mean, there's been no personal foul penalties for extracurricular conduct. We've seen that before in season openers. The players are keeping it under control, and the referees, as you mentioned, total control of this game. Hey, I don't want to dock you 15 yards at this point in the game.
Now at the 19-yard line of Union with the first down, Canode. To his right is Clouston. 14-7 Bentonville, and whistles blow right before the play started. I did not see a flag. Union jumped off sides. I did not see it. I did see Coach come off the sidelines like a madman, so I should have known. That is 2 defensive offside penalties against Union. both times when Canode was pretty exaggerated with that call, but you have to expect that's going to happen.
Yeah, and Jeremiah Jones, again, he's starting for the first time. Literally had 0 stats all year, and he was on this team. So number 9, still getting his feet wet there on the defensive end side.
Canode will hand to Clouston. Clouston bounces outside, and he is hit by Rion Williams. He still pushed forward for a couple. He got down to the 11-yard line, and Rion made a nice play right there just to make him bounce back inside. Then he got a little help inside from Jones. It'll be second down and about 1. 10:50 to go here in this game, and Bentonville with a 14-7 lead. Really probably thinking, Dave, that if they can get one more, they kind of feel good about it just because of the pace of this game. It's been very difficult for anyone to score quickly.
Yeah, it's the military academy style. As you mentioned, you only have limited opportunities to score. Union did it when they need to, and now they need this defensive stop in the worst way.
It'll be about second down and 1. Actually, the motion, they will fake it, and they'll go ahead and hand it off, and going straight up the middle down to around the 9-yard line. That's going to be close. I think he actually has the first down. That is Clouston, and that will move the chains. It'll be first and goal for Bentonville now at the 9-yard line of Union, and another Bentonville player is down.
Looks like it could have been the running back. The offensive line kind of upset there, they're hoping that it's not more serious than a cramp. There was one of the left tackle. The left tackle for Bentonville came off looking pretty upset. But Union, it's opening up in the middle now for Bentonville. They're really not having to bounce it outside, doing anything fancy. Everybody's taking care of business on the offensive tackle side. And, Union has got to make a stop, got to find something here with this final 9 yards.
There's only been one turnover in this game, and that was an unfortunate interception by Dylan Taylor early. Sure would be a nice place for one of those to pop out of there and have Union grab and go the other direction. This Union offense against Mustang in that mini game was explosive, and you haven't seen that here tonight, but this is, again, a Bentonville team that was 12-1 last year and went all the way to the state finals, and as you mentioned, they've made the state finals a normal thing around here. Did they have to replace players? They have, but they have always had really good players. That's why they've been to all those state championships in a row, and it doesn't look like they're going to slow down much. And that offensive line of theirs is big, physical, and those are flat bellies too. They are not guys who are just rolling around out there. They've got mobility.
Yeah, the last 3 years we played them, I mean, this year and the 2 years before it, they just look big. They just look big coming off the bus. They look big walking out of the tunnel. They just grow them huge around here, and that has come into play tonight as we're just struggling with penetration. So this is interesting. This would be a big loss if it's anything bigger than a cramp for number 50.
That's Spencer Starnes, one of their big offensive linemen. And you could see the offensive line, as earlier Dave said, we're kind of upset. Well, offensive line's a close brotherhood, and they'll be a little upset when one of their own gets hurt. Miles Mealing looks like he might be one of the guys coming in to replace. So it'll be first and goal. It's going to be back at the 9-yard line for Bentonville. They lead 14-7 with 10:13 to go here in this game. The game was moving quickly, but there have been a lot of players down, cramps and injuries, and that has slowed the pace a great deal.
Yeah, if not for the cramps, I think this game would be at zeros right now.
It'd be over.
Yeah. It's been that many cramps and just the hydration catching up.
Clouston will be way back in that tailback spot. Under center is Canode, and Union jumps again. This time it is Terrence Evans who jumped, but let's see if they're going to actually call Bentonville on this one. That's why Terrence jumped. And Terrence is senior enough, you kind of think that he wasn't going to jump, so that makes sense.
Yeah, he's not new to the position, and that's great. And you make it to where the referee understands what's happening. Referee was right on top of it. Very few penalties for Bentonville.
Yeah.
Their third of the night and the first of the half.
Canode, once again, it looks like he wants to go under center. And again, you've got a new center, so you want to be careful here. He'll go up under center. Clouston is set way back around 6 yards deep. Now first and goal from the 14. They'll fake, roll to the right. He'll throw that down underneath at the 10-yard line. It's caught, and he's taken down. That was Ethan Hoffman. Hoffman looked like he had a little bit more room, but he got undercut pretty quickly by Rion Williams. It's still a decent gain to the 8. It'll be second and goal from there.
Yeah, I like the play design there, but, at the end of the day, if that's a running back catching that, he's gone. But Hoffman was able to be caught. Good job sticking with it. Hey, you fell for the fake halfback toss, didn't miss.
Straight eye, and they'll toss it this time to Clouston. He turns up, and he's going to be inside the 5, down around the 2, maybe even the 1. Off the bottom of the pile there for Union is Terrence Evans, but this will be third down and goal from around the 2. And looks like Bentonville starting to bully a little bit. Turn and toss again, and again it's Clouston, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown. 20-7, Bentonville now with 8:43 to go, and that big offensive line is just pushing around a little bit. Look at the size of that hole.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And I mean, Tristan Birmingham trying his best. He's cramped twice tonight, really sticking out there. He did make it through the hole, but it was just a second too late. And Bentonville is just, this is big. This is the equivalent of a 28-point lead. I mean, at this point, just how it's been going in the clock management. So this is where Union's explosivity on the offensive side has to come through.
Extra point on the way. That is Blake Stroud, and it is good. So it is 21-7, Bentonville now with 8:43 to play here in this football game. And again, we'll keep it here because they are doing this quickly. They are not waiting an awful lot, and Union's got themselves a 2+ hour drive to get home, so they won't want to wait. That drive was another one of those just offensive line drives. But you know, the scores for Bentonville and for Union have all been offensive line based scores.
Yeah, no question. And as this game goes on, and we've got 8 minutes and 43 seconds left here, Union's offensive line is going to have to come up big. Now it's their turn. Give Dylan Taylor the time that he needs, because he's going to have to pass it. Obviously, at this point, you're down 14. You're going to have to get it downfield. Not necessarily downfield, but at least get it to your playmaker to see if Birmingham can do an impression of what he did at the Stan Martin, which is catch it on a 1-yard pass and then twist and go. I think you need an explosive, and you're going to have to turn over Evan Canode to win this game at this point for Union.
That drive right there was 9 plays, 62 yards. So the 3 touchdown drives, or the 4 touchdown drives tonight have been 7 plays, 13, 14, and 9. So you haven't seen any of these 1-play, 2-play drives. It just hasn't happened. And then look at the numbers. All of them have been 2-yard touchdown runs. I mean, every one of them has been drive, get close, and both offensive lines have done their job. But it's 21-7, Bentonville, and now for Union, you don't have to score in the next 2 minutes necessarily, but you cannot waste time. You just can't, because once Bentonville gets it back, if they do, they are very unlikely to give it up again. Kickoff coming, and it'll be a little bit short. That one is taken by Rion Williams around the 8-yard line, and here he comes. Rion to the 20. He's hemmed in there, though, and at the 22, 25-ish, he's going to be shoved out of bounds by about half that kickoff team. I mean, there was a crowd over there when he got there. They're going to mark him, I think, around the 27, and that's where Union will take it first down.
It's good to see Rion back out there again. Now he's all 3 phases, right? He's the kickoff returner as well as being the linebacker and the featured running back. And good to see him after going off injured, what we thought was an injury. He looked good on that run, so you're going to need him here. Again, like Rick mentioned, doesn't have to be a 1-play drive. Cannot waste time. And if you get down there to the point where you're under 3 minutes and this is a 5-minute drive, then you're looking at an onside kick. There are some options, but your athletes have to come to play, and an explosive here would be nice.
Just be efficient. Terrence Evans is out there, by the way, playing tight end on the left side. So I think we get an idea. Now Terrence will shift to the right, and you're looking at about 1,300 pounds of offensive linemen out there. Let's just say I wouldn't want to see him turned loose at the Shoney's Buffet. Fake inside Dillon. Here comes some pressure. He's going to have to hurry. Taylor gets away. Dillon's going to have to run. 25. Lifts the arm, goes to the 30, and out of bounds around the 33-yard line. And look over there who's running out there. Elon Reagan is flying out there at 350-plus pounds trying to make a block on the corner. That's a gain of about, we're going to call it 6. It'll be 2nd and 4, but credit the big guy for being out front.
And that's another thing that I've noticed is our offensive line is not wearing down, maybe like some of the other members of the team. Our offensive line still looks great, and they're energized by their last drive.
Give Dillon credit, too. He recognized that rush and avoided it. 2nd down and 4. Taylor, quick throw left side. Birmingham makes the play, but I think he's a little short. They'll mark him at the 36-yard line, forced out of bounds immediately by Evan Mall. And a very, very important 3rd and 1 is coming up. With 8:21 to go, if you don't make it here, likely you go for it, probably so. But it's an important 3rd down. Let's don't get to that 4th down. Let's just get this thing in the books.
Tristan Birmingham thought he should have got the ball in the previous one. He's kind of calling for it, keeps his head in the game, catches the comebacker for 9.
3rd down and 1. Union at their own 36, needs the 37. Handoff and straight up the middle and getting the first down. That is Grayson Betts. And give Betts credit because he put the head down and just bowled forward. He had several people contact him early on. The first was Stone Turnage, but he still got that first down, and the Redskins moved the chains, now at their own 38-yard line.
Clock moving, that's okay. Just keep getting the first downs.
Taylor back to throw, rolling to his right. Now he fires. There's a flag. Pat Thompson makes the catch around the 47 of Bentonville, but I think that's going to come back for holding. That is thrown back where Wood is walking backwards like, hey, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I think they're going to get number 10 on that. He did release at the end.
And it is a hold. That's really one of the better throws of the night for Dylan Taylor as he rolled out, found his man, and got there. Unfortunately, it'll be called back. So that will take the football back to around the 28-yard line. And Union will now be faced with a first down at about 21.
Yeah, really, really tough penalty there. Luke Wood had him. Looked like he released it, and then the guy went down right in front of the referee, and we understand that. But Dylan Taylor, even with it being called back, a confidence builder.
7:49 to go. It is 21-7. Bentonville Union needing something here. Taylor, all kinds of time. Now he's going to have to hurry. He'll fire it to the right, and it is caught. Not a lot there at around the 30-yard line, but that's still a nice play. It was Jeremy Foster who made the catch, but it's a nice play by Dylan Taylor because he got credit, he got pressure, and he just kept his head about him and just floated rather than ran and made a decent throw. It'll be second down now and around 18, but at least he made a positive play.
Yeah, no question. And here, the advantage is 4 down territory. Just get half. Just get 8. Just get something here to move it forward.
Birmingham doesn't really have single coverage up top because they're in a deep zone. You've got 2 deep safeties, really almost 4 on this second down play. Taylor, he goes out to Birmingham, and Tristan makes the catch, but he is gathered up right away, probably around the 43, I think is where they're going to mark it. And you have to give credit right there because Cole Montoya understood if I try to unload on him and miss, he's gone. And he made a nice solid tackle. You look at the replay here. It's a long throw, but watch the tackle. Rather than try to just unload, he just grabs him. And I'm sorry, that wasn't him. That was Evan Mall. Third down now and about 5. Taylor, better hurry, throws back to the middle, and it is bounced in the air and nearly intercepted. Oh, boy. That was close. That was off the hands of Cole Montoya, and it will be 4th down and 5 and a dangerous throw by Taylor and another flag down.
Did he get us for another hold? They've been
where that's thrown, I'd have to guarantee it.
They've been letting it go. Haven't called a lot of holds in this game so far at all. Now 2 on this drive.
Well, if you watch the corner out here to the right side, it was the right call.
Yep.
Just didn't know whether they'd see it or not, and they did. So that will back the football up. Point of foul, so it'll take it back to the 33-yard line. It will repeat third down, though, so you've got 3rd and 15, and, in some ways, this might not be a bad play here for Union.
No, and you just, again, like I said, get half. Just get half. The comeback routes have been working. Tristan is starting to figure out the zone now. Birmingham is sitting down in the zone and making it easier for Dylan to get him the ball.
4 deep safeties here. If you can get underneath that for a little something. Taylor is going to have to run for his life. Dylan fires it, and that is, drop. Pat Thompson had it for a first down at the 49 of Bentonville and could not quite hold it. That's a good throw by Dylan on the run, and Pat made a valiant effort, but just could not quite hold on. It'll be 4th and 15.
I know Tristan has gotten all the shine, but Pat, that's the guy you want to go to. As Antonio Graham said, that's their possession receiver. Couldn't pull that one down. But Pat, I think, is going to have a good season, and they're going to continue to have to get him the ball, make him that number 2 option. So they got to move on and snap back right here on this down.
It was a heck of a throw, and it was a great effort by Pat. So 4th down and 15. Union needs the 48-yard line of Bentonville, and they trail 21-7 and a timeout by the Red Hawks. 6:15 to go in this game. Obviously, you need a score. You need it pretty quickly, and then you need a good defensive stand. And quite honestly, the defensive stands have been hard to come by in this second half as both teams have driven the ball for minutes on the other.
Yeah, the Union hasn't been able to cross the 50 in this one. It's looked good at times. 2 major holding penalties have just kind of brought this to a halt, but it ain't over yet. I mean, it's 4th and 15. We've seen Birmingham break mid runs. We've seen Abington break huge plays. You have options, you have speed, and this is why you build a team that has speed on it, is because if you could run away from somebody at this point and get an explosive out there, an explosive play, you're right back in this. Again, down 2 scores, 6 minutes is still a lot of time left. you have to have this.
Well, as J.V. Haney once said to me, if I can outrun you, you can't catch me. And that's pretty much what Union would like to see. Let's take a look at some other scores. Union has Broken Arrow, has another black and gold Tigers team next week. Broken Arrow beating Harbor tonight 34-0 as of right now. Mustang up on Choctaw 17-7. Norman North leads Norman 24-3. And Bixby and Owasso, they're in the third period. Bixby leading 35-27 in what looks like a fantastic game. All right, 4th and 15 in this game. Union has to have the 48-yard line or they are off the field. 6:15 to go. They trail by 14. Here comes pressure. Taylor going to have to move. Stops, now runs. Got himself some room, but he won't be able to get there. He puts the shoulder down and got across the 40 to the 45 and the 46, but he's shoved out of bounds right there by Aiden McCarthy, and that will be it. That will turn the football over. Now, it's not it for the game. There's 6 minutes and 6 seconds to go, but that is not going to get the first down. And you could tell early Dillon had pressure. Once he got out, he didn't find anybody to throw to. And right here I thought, hey, he might have a chance. But there he lowers the shoulder and just could not get enough of Davis Kulka to get that first down.
And on that one, as you start building experience in the season, the receivers are going to learn, you've got to come back to the sticks. You're down too deep, way too deep down the field. He's trying to pass it to you on the run, come back to the sticks, get closer to that first down for him. I also thought Dillon might try to cut it back inside, but tried to bowl him over there. And Bentonville makes the stop. Dylan Taylor didn't come far from it, though. He almost got it.
Stephen Schaefer will be the running back. Once again, the quarterback is Evan Canode. He is an Arkansas commit in baseball. 1st and 10 for Bentonville. They'll hand it off to Schaefer. He's got a lot of room. Schaefer 40, 35, down to around the 30-yard line, maybe the 31-yard line. He exploded around that corner. He was taken down there by Devin Bailey, but that's a first down, and I mean easily a first down. They'll mark it at the 31-yard line with 5:52 to go in this football game. Bentonville might want one more.
And Union, you're looking at Bentonville's offense, a lot of motion, a lot of stuff going on. They're kind of simplifying it more now. You just need a turnover. You need that ball to pop loose.
Canode, once again, will be the quarterback. Of course, he's been in the shotgun most of the night. Schaefer will be the running back, one of two. He and Clouston, who have just really been very good tonight for the Tigers. Now the motion comes inside. They'll turn and hand off once again to Schaefer. He bounces outside, got some room, 30-yard line. He'll be pushed out of bounds around the 28-yard line. That was Jordan Evington, I believe, who got over there and made that play, playing a little two ways himself. They're going to give him 2 yards. We'll call it the 2nd down and 8.
One way to do it, get him out of bounds, stop that clock. Another thing that's what's happened is that Bentonville has had a lot of variety, even with the running game, and it kind of looks like they're doing the same thing. They've been able to confuse us and kind of bounce our eyes around and kind of get openings. Great job of not being fooled on that. And like you said, Avington just finishing the play, getting him out of bounds.
Same set for Bentonville. Canode again in the shotgun. Again, he's going to hand to Schaefer. Schaefer with a bit of a hole up the middle, but he got popped. He got down to around the 26-yard line, and then Castellano said, that's enough. He put his helmet right in the middle of the football. Somehow he held it, though, but it will be 3rd down and 5 after that collision.
Now it gets interesting. If you stop him here, then what do you do for Bentonville? I don't know their field goal kicker. I'm not sure about that. But now, if you could stop him here and force him to make a 45-yard field goal-ish decision, boy, Castellanos, nice job. This game's not over for him, I'll tell you that much.
That is textbook on how to tackle somebody. 3rd down and 5, ball to 26 of Union. Bentonville needs the 21. They already have a lead of 21-7. They'll hand it off, and Schaefer goes nowhere. Big Terrence is the first guy up there. He maybe got a yard, I think, and that's really about it. Terrence was on them first, and by Terrence, I mean Terrence Evans. Cameron McCoy was there, and it will be 4th down and around 4, and Bentonville will go for it. They're not going to try to kick it from here. 4:14 and counting now in this 4th period, and Bentonville already up 21-7. They will take their time. Play clock at 20.
Union hanging on to that last timeout here in case they can get this.
Canode will likely not snap this thing until there's probably 2 or 3 seconds on the clock. Trying to get Union to jump off sides. Now he calls for the play. 3 seconds to go on the clock. And I think they're going to call timeout. So give them credit. Canode has drawn Union off twice tonight. They were trying to do the same there, which obviously would have given them the first down. Union, very disciplined, did not jump. And I think maybe at the end of that, the Bentonville's entire plan was if they don't jump, we'll call timeout. We'll make sure we have the right play. And you wasted time. Now there's 3:46 to go.
Yeah, very well played by a veteran coach, Jody Grant, teaching his players how to play the right way. And good job for Union's defense, like you said, learning in game. We've jumped offside twice. We're seeing what he's trying to do. He's got us a few times, but he's not going to get us this time in the most critical down of the entire game. Yeah, I mean, we've been offsides, but you can't go offsides at 4th and 4,
No.
and we didn't, and that's a great job and growth in the game.
You mentioned Jody Grant. My wife, Christine, grew up over here in Arkansas, of course, and used to babysit
Oh, yeah.
Jody Grant. And I said, you should have done a worse job. He's a good coach.
Yeah, 107 and 25
Yeah, he's
in
not
11
bad.
seasons.
Right? He's done all right. All right, we have 4th down and 4 for Bentonville to the Union 25-yard line. They need the 21. They're up 21-7 are the Tigers with 3:46 to go. Canode in the shotgun. To his right is Clouston. He'll hand it to Clouston. He bursts up the middle, has the first down. He's down around the 17-yard line. Ridden down right about there by Braden Stevens, but that is somewhat of a nail in the coffin right there, as it'll be first down Bentonville with 3:38 to go. And you can see, once again, that offensive line just making space, and those running backs doing a great job of having low pad level.
Have the push up front, able to get that hole just right down the gut. Deshaun Jordan again, who we've called his name a lot. The move-in, number 29 from Wagner, just was all over the place for the Bulldogs last year in a good way. He was a superstar for them. We've called his name a lot tonight and hoping for big things for him next week against the other Tigers.
Now at 17-yard line of Union, they'll hand it off again and smack in the backfield. Oh, Castellanos came roaring through there and took Clouston down for a loss of about a yard. It'll be second down and just over 10.
On this one, Bentonville needs the first down to truly ice the game. At this point, if you can stop them and get them somehow off the field here, you at least give yourself a puncher's chance.
Castellanos blew through there. That's a bit of a gap trick that Union had running there, and it worked beautifully.
Second great tackle on this drive by Castellanos.
Great clock management here, too, by Bentonville. They are not snapping the ball until there's 5 or less left. We're down to 2.5 to go in this football game. They'll run wide, hand it off again, and again, not much is there. That was Clouston, and he might have gotten a half yard before he was gang tackled. Again, Castellanos was there. He got help from Hankins, and it will be third down and almost 11. And watch again, they'll carry out the little belly play, basically, and he gets jumped on pretty quickly also in there. And we've called this name an awful lot tonight, too, is Cameron McCoy.
Yep, first year really in the depth chart, and he's made himself known. Almost got to the quarterback, but a guy kind of had him by an arm bar by the neck, but he almost could have got to the quarterback earlier, too.
Well, this is impressive clock management. You know, you don't see this sometimes in college games, but they're doing a fantastic job. They took it with 6:05 to go, and there's a minute 40, and they still have third down and 11. They have just done such a good job. There's a timeout called by Bentonville. But, you know, clock management is something that'll drive you nuts if you're a coach. And I have seen so many guys, even in college, who just forget themselves in the flow of the game, and I understand why and how. But this has been really impressive, taking it with 6:10 to go. Sure, they have done their job and gotten the first down, but they have probably taken an extra 2+ minutes off the clock just with the way they've snapped the football.
And you're doing it with a first-year starting quarterback who he's antsy. He wants to win. He's trying to finish off this game. Hey, slow down. 5, 4, 3. It's a gift. I really believe clock management is a gift. Not everybody has it. It can be taught, but not everybody has it. And that is something that is just superbly in place with this Bentonville team. Because, again, you're looking at it on TV. It's so easy.
Yep.
Hey, don't snap the ball yet. Wait. Yep. It's not that easy in the
it
game
really
situation.
But this is a kid, again, Canode is a guy who is an Arkansas commit in baseball. So he's used to, even though it's not this sport, he's used to being in big moments in big games. This is not new to him. It'll be third down and just over 10 now for Bentonville. They need Union 7 for a first down, but the Tigers lead 21-7 with a minute 38 to go. Canode with Schaefer to his right. Will fake to him. Canode rolling left. He's going to be chased and taken down in the backfield. He is slammed down. Not only was that Rion Williams back there grabbing a hold of him, but also Rocky Bright, and it will be fourth down now at the 24-yard line, and Bentonville, I think, will take another timeout.
Nice job by Rocky, chasing him down from the near side, just right there. But Rion was he was the chase down. He was the guy who chased
Rocky
from the
turned
wrong
him
side.
back, and he didn't see Rion. He was coming from behind like a freight train and then blasted him. So it'll be 4th down at the 24-yard line. Don't know if Bentonville – the thing for Bentonville in here, if you're going to try a field goal, let's say, that, because it makes sense to, hey, you want to work your kicker. You get one block, though, and then you can give the other guy a big advantage, onside kicks, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not sure that they would even do that. More than likely, in my opinion, they'll either go for this or just kneel on the thing.
Yep, well, exactly, because we're all the way back. I mean, if you kneel on it, we got to go 70 and get in an explosive play and get an onside kick. The tantalizing part is it's a 3-possession game. If you make the field goal, it's a 3-possession game.
Well, that's what they're going to do.
Over. I mean, it's over if it's a 3-possession game at this point.
And it does look like that's what they're going to do. Blake Stroud is coming on. They're going to put that down at the 32. That's a 42-yard attempt from the near hash mark. There is literally 0 wind blowing here tonight. The only thing happening here tonight is the humidity. And we'll see if Stroud can knock this thing through. Low snap, but he got it down. There's the kick. It's got a lot of distance. Holy cow, he hit it.
My goodness.
Stroud hit from 42, and it might have been good from 50. 24-7 Bentonville now with 1:20 to go. And you said it, Dave. That is the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, 3-possession game. And it's been a valiant effort from Union. Of course, that we're going to see here with 1:20, 3 possessions, who's still out there and who's still playing to the final whistle. And I think this is going to carry over for the Red Hawks to next season, or to next week against the other black and gold Tigers. Who is going to finish this game, even though it's 24-7?
You say 3-possession game. Union's only had 2 possessions in the half.
Unreal.
I mean, not only is it a 3-possession game, you can't get 3 possessions in this game unless people just start handing the ball to you, and that just does not happen. So it's been that kind of game. And again, I mean, you're looking at, take a look at the time. It's 9:28. We started this game at 8, probably at 7. It's 9:28, and there has been at least 10 minutes in stoppage with players on the field, on the ground with injuries and cramps and the likes. That was a 20-yard drive that took 9 plays and 4:35.
20 yards, 4:35. Is that what you just said?
Yep.
My gosh.
20 yards, 4 minutes, 35 seconds, and 9 plays. So the drives in this game, 7, 13, 14, 9, and 9. There has been no quick. This is not arena ball, folks. This is old-fashioned Big Ten football right here.
How many times have you just seen the other team speed up unnecessarily and give back possessions? Bentonville has given us 0 possessions tonight. We've had to earn them all.
This will be a short pooch kick, and it will be caught on the run by Betts, and he's going to be knocked out of rounds around the 40-yard line. That's a good job by Grayson Betts. Most guys might panic right there, and instead Betts just picked that thing up and took off. They did not want to kick deep to Birmingham and Abington, and who blames them? So 1:18 to go. Down 24-7. Union has one more chance, and as Dave mentioned, we'll be with you next week at home at Union Tuttle Stadium when the other black and gold Tigers come rolling in. Broken Arrow, who is just killing Springdale Harbor tonight.
Yeah, it's an interesting schedule this year, and I think it's fun for Red Hawks fans. The whole month of September is home games. You've got an off week in there, but you've got Broken Arrow home, you've got Choctaw home, you've got Jenks, the Backyard Bowl, home.
Quick throw to the right side, and that is dropped by Thompson. Taylor threw it straight to him, maybe a little bit behind him, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. That stops the clock with 1:15 to go.
And this is a game that, I've talked about him a lot, but number 5, Pat Thompson, that I think he can build on. He had that almost catch that went through his hands, and then he had the one that he made the catch, but it was called back. So there's a lot here to build on with Pat Thompson. He's got his hands on the ball more than he ever has. He's always kind of been that 4th option. And to take that next step up, this may be the start to that for Pat.
Castellanos in there at the receiver position too. Once again, Taylor back, has plenty of time. Now Dillon's going to run 45-yard line. Needs to get out of bounds, and he does. Got across midfield in the 1st down around the 48-yard line. Run out of bounds over there by Parker Tutt, and it'll be a 1st down for the Red Hawks with 1:06 to go.
Abington down on the near side, it looks like.
And I bet that's another cramp because I'd seen him. Yep, and it is. So about 5 or 6 players have cramped tonight. Union's had, I think, 5, and I think Bentonville's had 1 or 2.
I've also been scanning the sidelines for Jordan Johnson, 73.
I didn't see him earlier. Do you see him?
So I saw him in the first half, and he was limping with a heavily wrapped right ankle, just kind of limping around. I have not seen him in the second half, but that right ankle heavily taped, and I don't know if he came into the game like that. I'm not 100% sure, but the limp was there.
And they might have just put him in street clothes. He may just be sitting on the bench. It would be hard to tell back there behind the benches.
Something that, Coach Graham was so excited about, the offensive line going into this season. You really hope it's not a big deal with Jordan Johnson and he can get back out there again next week.
Yeah.
You hope that this is something that he's able to overcome.
Although I will say, they've had to move around some people, Vasquez and Teehee, and I think they played really well.
Yeah.
Then we also saw Terrence Evans playing some offense tonight, and he's done a nice job. So I think the offensive line, even though there's only 7 points in there, has not been bad. The passing game hasn't been terribly efficient, and there just hasn't been a rhythm yet in any side of that. They had the one drive that was really good, but past that, it's just been hard to have a rhythm. So it's 1st and 10 for the Red Hawks now at the 48-yard line of Bentonville, minute 6 to go, and the Tigers up 24-7. Taylor again alone in the backfield. Castellanos here on this side. He'll throw quickly to the left side, caught by Birmingham, and he breaks free, but not for much. Got to around the 42-yard line. He was pushed out of bounds very quickly over there by Evan Mall, but they are stopping the clock.
Well, absolutely. And you're getting Birmingham more touches, a guy who hasn't had the experience yet. He played at 6A2 Sand Springs, and he missed the first 4 games of the season last year, so did not play a full season with the state champion Sandites last year. You're getting Tristan some touches, spreading that around.
Quick throw to the right side this time to Thompson. Nice block out in front of him. Pat's got some room. 45-30, cuts back down inside that to around the 28-yard line. Saving tackle there by Silas Brocker. He might go the distance. It'll be a first down for the Red Hawks. They'll mark him at the 29. Watch the block out front. Right there. That is a fantastic block out front by Dallas Maxey.
Another guy cramping, came back in, looks great.
So now at the 30, just inside the 30-yard line of Bentonville are the Red Hawks. Taylor, here comes pressure up the middle. Dillon, he's got a lot of room on his left. He also has a player out there if he'll throw it. Flips himself, gets it downfield to the 5-yard line, and inside that for Castellanos. Castellanos was standing about the, 16, 17-yard line with no one around him. And I thought for a minute Dillon wouldn't see him, but he finally did and flipped it out there.
Beautiful for Castellanos. He's sitting and then he leaks out. See, he's just jumping him. He's just saying, go, go, go. And he leaks out, and the cornerback was extremely frustrated for Bentonville. He thought he had him, and it's like, where did he go? He's behind me.
Bentonville had a man go down. That is Evan Mall. And Union was trying to go fast, and Mall went down. Now he's up, and he's walking off on his own. He doesn't want the trainers to help him at all, but they're trying to. I think he took a shot to the head. I think he's bleeding because they're holding up a towel to his head.
Ooh.
He may have taken a pretty good shot there. Anytime people are running around like that, you got motion right, motion left. It is really easy to get blindsided, even when it's not on purpose, Dave. When you're running around out there and somebody else is not looking at you and you're not looking at them, you can be looking out your ear hole pretty quickly.
Well, and especially on those broken plays, everybody's running everywhere. You don't know who you're running into.
Taylor, this time with Rion in the backfield. He'll fake it. Taylor rolls out. He's going to have to hurry. Fires it out to the right side. That is a touchdown for Foster. Foster snuck out to the right side after the nice little fake, and it is now 24-13. Union scores with 6 seconds to go.
I love it. I love it. I love the urgency. We don't care if it's a 17-point lead. We don't care about that at all. We're just going. We're just going to go do it. Flag on the play, Rick.
You'd see that. Now I just want to see what they're calling. And there is a lot of discussion here.
It's really hard to see these penalty flags. I
Very
don't know
hard.
what the deal is.
These windows are very heavily tinted. That has something to do with it for us on the inside. They're going to say ineligible receiver downfield, so that's coming back. But these are very nice. It's a very nice booth. It's an older stadium, although for its time it had to be legendary because it's a really nice place.
Yeah.
But they have heavily tinted these windows to help with the afternoon sun, and it is really hard to see those penalty flags. The yellow flag just doesn't show up.
Our camera crew doing a great job out here showing you all the action today.
Eli and Uli, thank you. Good job right there. Taylor firing to the end zone, and it is intercepted. trying to go to Pat Thompson as a last gasp. Instead, it is picked off by Aiden McCarthy, and as we go to zeros, that's going to do it. So the Union touchdown called back, and they throw it into the end zone on the last play, and a second interception for Dillon. So that's going to do it from Bentonville. 24-7, the Tigers win. We won't have time to get to the final stats. We'll tell you about those next week. Again, next week, right back at Union Tuttle Stadium. We'll see you there for the first home game of the year against another team wearing black and gold and called the Tigers. For Eli and Uli and Andy, our UVU crew and our Union Sports Network crew, and for Dave Davis, my partner, along with Richard Johns, I'm Rick Corey. 24-7, Bentonville wins. We'll see you next week over in Union. Good night from Arkansas.